really wanted that bad.
Welcome back to the Angry Man Podcast with Jason and Greg. He is Jason, the chosen one. I am Greg, a legend in my own mind. Jay, what's going on with you, fam?
Not much. Slow rolling. Trying to make it through. Get ready for some upcoming fights, hopefully worthwhile in the upcoming weeks, you know.
Yep, I agree. All right, let's give people the people that support the channel some love. Rock Dog Interactive. If you need anything in regards to web design, logo design, anything of that nature, make sure you reach out to Rock Dog Interactive. All you got to do is Google and you'll find out. I think it's rockdoginteractive.io is the website. Make sure you go check out Rock Dog Interactive. League of Legacies, that is our guy. He's doing wonderful work out there in the community for Black fathers. Black father figures is his own, I guess, response, Jay, to just the diminished respect that's out there and appreciation for Black fathers. So I appreciate the work that he's currently doing out there in our communities. And then Nidaz Vodka, www.nidazvodka.com. Got that great kiwi taste. Tastes amazing. I drink it straight. I drink it on the rocks. Right now, I'm not drinking anything right now because, you know, I'm dry. It's going to be dry for a little bit, probably to the summer. Got a wedding that I'm going to be attending in May, so I know I'm going to be getting faded then. But until then, it's going to be dry. But Outside of that, you guys should go check out Nadaz Vodka, www.nadazvodka.com. It is a black-owned entity. You can find their products on their website and in select stores throughout Florida. All right, Jay. Let's see who's in the comment section. Chick, what's going on with your fam? Bill Nye, all right. Jay Miller, what's going on with your fam? Brandon House is in the building. We got 20 people in the building, 12 likes. Please smash the like button so other people can find this content ASAP. It just helps everybody find the content, man, and helps people to participate in this channel. Dragon Assassins Official, what's going on with your fam? Respect, Jason and Greg. Salute. Right. And Jay Miller just hit us with $1.99. Appreciate you, man. Let me throw the first punch. Appreciate you, Jay Miller. Thanks.
Appreciate it. What's up,
Jay Miller, are you also the Boxing Pro on Twitter? I'm just wondering.
Yeah, the profile looks yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, right, Tunnel, bitch, don't start that tunnel. Don't start that tunnel.
Bud on BLK Prime versus Hatton at 160 pounds. Let's do it. No, Jay Miller said, no, that ain't him. That ain't him. The profile picture look the same, but that ain't him. That ain't him. All right, Jay. Yeah. So, let me start off by saying this. My apologies last week. We didn't get a whole lot of content out last week just because I was traveling on business. I was in the Ohio and the Indiana area visiting some of the manufacturing facilities that I run there. So it was hard for Jason and I connect during the week, but there's going to be some other challenges because I got some more traveling coming up in the next couple of weeks. But we promise to be more diligent and making sure that we get content out to you guys on a regular basis. So that's my bad. And we've done some work this weekend rather to make sure that we're able to do that. All right, Jay, where do you want to start off? Where you want to go?
Yeah, I was reading what Shelton Moore said. Salute brothers, got to go to Vegas on June 15th. Fire card.
That's Gervonta Davis, right?
Yeah, that's what I've seen rumors about, but it's not been official yet. But yeah, that'd be dope.
Yeah,
that'd be dope. But yeah, let's get it rolling, man. So let's start with Ryan Garcia. We seen couple things with Ryan Garcia. So Ryan Garcia posted out, said that he signed a little contract that he wasn't going to post anymore on social media unless it was boxing related. That lasted maybe 24 hours. Then he started going on his conspiracy theories, rants, whatever you want to call it, whatever it may be about one boxing. So we seen pictures of Derrick James while he was in Derrick James' camp training. And we see pictures of DJ looking like he made a mistake. So you think they're going to be on the outs after this fight here, or would they even make it to April 20th? I'm on the side of saying that they're not going to make it to April 20th with all the stuff that Ryan's been putting out there. The New York Athletic Commission saying that they want to see him do pretty much a mental evaluation. He's saying no, he's going to sue them. Says his amendment, freedom of speech, all that stuff there, but it ain't looking good, man. This could get ugly when he fight Devin. Devin ain't no power puncher, but it could get ugly when Devin just beats the hell out of him. You know what I'm saying? But I don't even know if he's gonna make it to the fight. But if I'm DJ, I'm trying to get up out of there. DJ looks like has bias remorse right now. DJ looks like, why? I wouldn't allow Ryan to be around my fighters such as Frank Martin, if Mel comes back, EJ, none of them. Any other fighters may not know he has in his camp that he's working with, but I think Ryan right now is kind of like a cancer. He's been a diva, and it's going to take away from the whole training camp on that. That's my take on that. What's your take on DJ and Ryan?
So I just dropped a little poll out there because I did a short here recently. Jay, you got the opportunity to see the short earlier today in regards to the training and the heavy bag that we saw, the heavy bag work that we saw from Ryan Garcia, which I thought was very interesting. Some of the facial expressions he was making as a part of that, as well as DJ's facial expression, as well as his body language as he was walking away from the heavy bag, would suggest that DJ is checked out, man. It feels like to me that, Derrick James, he made a mistake. It's just as simple as that. Ryan Garcia doesn't need a trainer. He needs a babysitter. He doesn't feel like somebody that that really wants to be in the sport right now currently, Jay, when you really think about how he's behaving. It's just Ryan Garcia is in another place right now, dude. And although, you know, he's correct when he starts talking about freedom of speech and things of that nature, Jay, I totally respect that. When you start talking about pedophiles and things of that nature, you're walking down the street and or you're running down the street, you're jogging, you're supposed to be working out. It looks off. And he said that he was going to go on one of the biggest trolls we've ever seen in our lives. This is not the way that you promote a fight. I think there's other ways to troll your opponent. I think there's ways to troll your opponent in the sense that you can put out false information where you know, it sounds like you're not training in the way that you're training. Without putting out any kind of video content or anything like that or responding on social media. I think there's a number of ways to troll your opponent. You can put out false rumors or reports, supposed leaked reports in terms of how you're performing in your training camps, how you're performing against your sparring partners, things of that nature to really try to throw your opponent off. And so in doing what he's doing, I think, you know, he's more so damaging his reputation. Now, is he necessarily damaging the fight? I don't know if that's 100% true. Because I think a lot of people think about it, Jay. When you talk about Americans, all Americans love to see a train wreck, right? Jay, you love to see a train wreck. Remember, Jay, when we were in college, you loved Faces of Death. Remember that? That was your thing. You like to see people get hit by trains, people fall off buildings and hit the ground. Like you love that stuff, right? Americans love train wrecks, right? And so as far as I'm concerned, this is a train wreck ready to happen. And I think people will tune in to see the train wreck. Now, if people do not tune in to see the train wreck, then that's clear to me that the people are not necessarily interested in the people that are about to crash, right? But DJ has had just a horrible string of not only luck, because some of this stuff is on him, right? I mean, when you think about how Errol performed in this fight, that's partially on DJ, right? Anytime an athlete performs that poorly in a fight, everybody on the team has to take a part of that blame. We saw what happened with Frank Martin here recently. And now we're seeing what's going on with Ryan Garcia. It's not going to work. It's clear that it's not going to work. Ryan is doing things that, you know, appear to be falling back into some of the things that he was doing, some of the bad habits he had in the past. And so for me, dude, I'm just like, I think this is probably going to be their last time together, Jay. Again, go look at that short that I put out. You could see Derrick's body language as he just kind of slumps over and walks like that kid that's sad because the game is over and he doesn't want, you know what I mean? Like he was just done. Like he looked mentally defeated in terms of trying to figure out a way to make this guy competitive in this fight or motivate this guy to do what he needs to do in order to be competitive in the fight. So I just think it's over for them, and I think Ryan Garcia is headed for a disaster on April 20th.
No, I agree. I mean, people talking, people gonna be tuning in watching the fight. I'm not gonna be tuning in like that because of his antics right now. It makes me less likely to be like it's gonna be a great fight. You know, all these antics and everything take away from the actual fight. If he, like you to your point, there's ways of trolling. You can troll about, you know, picking out the way he jump ropes, picking the way he hits the heavy bag and stuff like that, or just making shorts on how he got caught against Linares and talking about, oh, that's the punch I throw, anything like that. But all this other stuff he's doing, you know, he has a right to do it and whatnot, but this is not how you promote your fight. You know, this is taken away from it. It's showing that you're possibly not focused, and you've pulled out of fights before. You put out a fight in contracts with Tank before because you needed a mental break. He's also alluded to talking about some sort of depression as well. So this ain't giving me any the one with fuzzies that he's actually going to make it to fight night on April 20th. I mean, I don't know. It's not. If I was going to go to the fight, I wouldn't go now. Just because I'm not going to trust it unless they're going to have some fire undercard. They have to have a fire undercard for me to be happy to be like, okay, I can deal with this now. So, I mean, I don't know. I mean, who knows? If Ryan turns around and beats Devin, stops him, whatever, that'd be great for him. You know, I still don't like him doing all this extra stuff, not really training. You know, this is not how you sell a fight, especially that fight that you can make a higher magnitude, because you should be feeling like, okay, me and Devin are 3-3 in the amateurs. This is to show that who has the upper hand, who has, you know, the most wins in our little battle. Instead, he's doing everything outside of that. That's not how you promote this fight. You're taking away from it. And then on the flip side, Devin and them, they've been talking about Tank. Neither side is really talking about those two fighting each other. They're doing everything else but that. Talk about you fighting Devin or Devin talking about fighting Brian Garcia. Neither one is talking about fighting each other. He's talking about all the conspiracy theories and whatever he believes in. And Devin and Bill and them, they're talking about Tank. So Tank's getting all this free pub, and he ain't even got to fight officially yet.
Yeah. Bill Haney has spent a significant amount of time talking about everything other than Ryan Garcia, right? He spent the vast majority of the last couple of weeks talking about Gervonta Davis and sparring and Floyd Mayweather and everybody under the sun other than his opponent. Now, I'm on record, and a lot of you probably got the opportunity to see me tweet here recently where I said everybody needs a mouthpiece like Bill Haney in their corner, right? I truly believe that. You need a Bernie the Boxer. You need a Bill Haney. You need somebody like that, specifically for fighters who are not good at talking, right? Which is the vast majority of fighters who are currently in the sport. We are missing those fighters that can actually talk for themselves and get people intrigued and involved with the sport of boxing and interested in what's going on currently in their lives. We're missing those types of fighters currently. So you need somebody like Bill Haney who continues to talk and keep his fighter name out there. So I'm not mad with Bill Haney whatsoever in that regards. I just disagree with about 80% of everything that comes out of his mouth. But outside of that, I'm not mad with the approach. But at some point, man, you got to start focusing honestly on your opponent, because Gervonta Davis is not the person that you're fighting. And as much as you want that to be something that you can grasp onto to help sell the fight, to me, that's ancillary, right? That's something that is complementary to helping you sell the fight. In reality, your opponent is Ryan Garcia, and therefore you need to be focused on him. What's the story around Ryan Garcia that's going to make people want to buy your fight and be interested in the fight? That's the most important thing. Again, Gervonta Davis and the sparring, that's ancillary that you can also use to help build towards a fight, particularly the opportunity to call Gervonta Davis out after the fight. But outside of that, stop talking about Tank, man, and figure out another way to sell your fight.
No, I agree. It's like you said about Bill. I don't mind Bill at all. Sometimes he get annoying, but he's trying to sell a fight. He's doing everything he can for Devin. You know, same thing with Bernie. Bernie rides with Bud to the wheels falls off, and he's trying to sell whatever Bud for Bud. Period. Bud didn't have a fight lined up anytime soon just yet, but he's selling Bud can fight anybody. But Ryan, the way he's doing it, saying that he's depressed at times and all this stuff here, to me, that's not selling a fight. That's not selling a fight. If I was in town in New York, I wouldn't be paying to go see this fight now. Mm-hmm. Nah, I don't want to see that. I want to see him training. If they're talking noise with one another, that's cool. But this way, nah. That's just my opinion on it. I don't see it doing well. The tickets haven't seemed like haven't been doing that good as well. So I mean, it's taken away from it. You know, and Devin kind of not helping, poking fun about him, you know, the repression and stuff like that. That's not helping neither, but we'll see. I mean, if they do make it to April 20th, we'll see what happens on that night. If Ryan takes out Devin, he would have proved everyone he don't need to show that he's training that much or doing the whole crazy stuff that he's doing in training, from wrestling with the female boxer that was in there and just talking all types of crazy stuff. But hey, the thing with Ryan, he is a past though. The past, he wasn't mentally strong. When he was supposed to talk all that noise on hot boxing on Mike Tyson, what he's going to do to Tank, and what happened? He ended up pulling out. So that's why I'm hesitant to really say that he's going to be okay for this fight on April 20th because of what he's done in the past. Can't deal with it.
Yeah, I see some people here saying he looks like he's unhinged. The whole promotion has been a mess. All of those things are true, man. This whole promotion has been a hot mess. Yeah. Ryan looks like he's gaining weight. Yeah, you're right, Tunnel. He looks a little heavy there, man. I don't know, man. This has been one of the more bizarre promotional outings, fights I've ever seen in my entire life, man. I mean, the only other thing I can think of was as bizarre is when Mike bit Lennox on the leg, or when. No, that's kind of regular though. When I was thinking about when Lennox and Hakeem Rotman started fighting right on ESPN, trying to think if there's any. That's kind of regular though, because Muhammad Ali and Joe Frazier did something similar. I mean, you know, it's bizarre, dog. Ryan Garcia, I hope he gets it together. I hope this is really truly a troll job, and if it is a troll job, then in reality, somebody need to tell him that he shouldn't be doing this ever again in life. It's pathetic. It's not something that we want to necessarily see in the sport. I think there's other ways to troll, And it is what it is. Just come better than that, dude. Come better than that.
Yeah.
Jay, anything else?
B-Dog got a good point. He said the highlight of the build-up so far was a Tank sparring video.
Exactly.
Damn
And
it.
that's what I'm saying, dog. Like Gervonta Davis, listen, I have no problem if you want to use Gervonta Davis' name as a part of your promotion, right? But it's ancillary, right? It's like the topping on your ice cream, right? It's the sprinkles on the ice cream. It's the what do you call it? What are the not the topping on the cake, Jay, but the frosting, the icing on the cake, right? So that's essentially what it is. It's not a situation where you're going to use that as the main point of emphasis when you're trying to promote a fight, and that's what Bill Haney is trying to do, and that's poor promoting as far as I'm concerned. There has to be a story around the two opponents that are currently in the ring, and the only story that they currently have is that they fought 6 times in the amateur and they split 3 ways. Outside of that, the WWE event that they had earlier in the promotion was not something that really got people engaged. Most people thought it looked fake, so they got to do a better job in actually promoting this fight.
Yeah,
and that's part of some of the issues that I've been seeing here, because we'll see the critical or we'll see people in the comment section of our videos. We'll see fans on Twitter. They're highly critical of PBC for whatever reason, right? But in reality, top rank Golden Boy Promotions, Matchroom, they are doing a pathetic job in promoting their fighters and building names. And so really it's their fighters' fault and those entities' fault, because they haven't built the cachet of those fighters so that they can be in the ring and earn the money that they want to earn when they get a shot at a Gervonta Davis or whoever. And PBC has been doing an amazing job in terms of building their fighters. They have been doing a poor job, though, of getting those fighters in the ring and getting them a number of fights that they need, because they don't necessarily have enough outlets to get those fighters out there. See that, guys? See how I can also be critical of the PBC? You guys swear we never are, but in reality we are. But yeah, Jay, they got to do a better job of promoting those guys, because right now, I mean, it's bad. It's not good. And the way that the analytics look currently on this fight, just based off what we're seeing, could be wrong, but this doesn't appear to be that strong of a it doesn't look good to me currently. But that's just my thought. Jay, anything else before we move to the next one?
No, nothing else on that for me.
All right, before we go there, we got 101 people in the building, 33 likes. Guys, if you get the opportunity, please smash the like button. It helps everybody find this content. So take that time to just hit that like button. It's free, and it helps people find this content so that other people will get the opportunity to become subscribers, enjoy the content, comment on the content, you name it, they'll do it. So make sure you smash that like button. And if you're new to the channel, this is the Angry Man Podcast, AM Sports Media. We're always dropping boxing related content on a regular basis. So make sure you check out the content that we have. Our new channel, AM Sports Cover 4, that's our new college football channel. We are dropping content there, not regularly like we need to, because this past week, like I said, I have been ripping and running, but we have started back to drop content on that channel, so make sure you go check that out. The Discord is pinned to the top. Jay, is there anything that I missed? Anything I missed?
Nope. We ran it down.
All right, let's go ahead and keep it moving.
Down. So staying around that weight class, 140, 135. Let's talk about Tank. It's been rumored about Tank's undercard. Now we know the fight is not official with him and Frank yet. Although they've shown that both camps have started, both fighters have started their training camps already. Tank has gone ghost online as far as all his social medias. He's shut him down right now, so you won't be able to find him on IG nor Twitter right now, X, whatever you want to call it. But it's been leaked that the undercard might be a stacked undercard for Tank and Frank, and that's potentially rumored in June 15th. So they have people such as David Benavidez versus Alexander G, because I can't pronounce his last name either, just like you couldn't either. So I call him OG. Rayo versus Ghost, better known as Edwin De Los Santos. Bubu Andrade versus David Morrell. And another one possible on the undercard would be Emmanuel Stanionis versus Gabriel Mastiri. I probably mispronounced his last name either, but any combination of those, adding 2 or 3 of those fights there would be great for me. What's your thoughts on that as far as them stacking this card potentially?
If they end up stacking it, man, it's just PBC being PBC. You know what I mean? I think they've been putting on the best fight cards in the sport here recently. I would be ecstatic if we see fights like that on the undercard. I don't know if that's really going to happen. We to be honest with you, I haven't actually had the opportunity to try to confirm any of those fights with contacts that we have. We should have done that. So, but yeah, if fights like that were to end up happening, I think that would be amazing. And not that Gervonta Davis versus Frank Martin need an undercard like that, but I think the reason why I can believe it, Jay, is twofold. Number one, for the number of fighters that PBC currently have on their roster, you got to think they only have one outlet, and there have been rumors out there for a long time that they were looking for a second outlet. And without that second outlet currently, you're gonna have to stack cards to get these guys fights, right? So, I personally think that it's a possibility. They got to be more active. They got to make sure that their fighters are more active. And I think that's been some of the things that have hurt some of the fighters that are like a Errol Spence. Well, Errol technically could have been as active as he wanted to. So maybe that's not a fair comparison. But at the end of the day, I just feel like it's PBC being PBC, putting on the best fights, and those will be two really good fights on the undercard that I would be looking forward to.
Yeah, no, I mean, they put something like this, that'd be a dope card. I mean, I remember it was rumored at one point that Boots may have been on the undercard, but supposedly he's rumored to be on the Canelo undercard that has yet to come out. I think I read something that the Canelo undercard might be coming out this week, possibly. Mm-hmm. So they have a little bit over 4 weeks to let that card be known. I'm quite sure the fighters already know that they're on that card, so Boots been training since his last fight.
Boots been training for 18 months, dude.
Yeah, so I mean, if he ain't ready, he'll never be ready for when he gets his shot. Boots is supposed to be potentially fighting Crawley if that gets done. Their purse bid is March 19th, so that might be what they're holding out. So March 19th is on Tuesday, so we might know more as far as about Boots' movement on Tuesday, Wednesday for him, if he'll be part of that card or not. But this card here, even without Boots, is dope. It'll be a dope card, man, to see David at 175 trying to fight become a Mando for the winner out of Better Be Even Bivol. And he'll still have this Mando at 168 for Canelo. So that shows that David's about the business. He's about being active and about the smoke to try to get the best that's available for him. As far as Rayo and De Los Santos, that'd be a fun fight. It was a fun fight, the first one. They were going at it. So, I mean, that'd be a fun fight. Now, Boo Boo and David Morrell, that's the one I truly doubt, because after Boo Boo lost to David Benavidez, he had talked about moving back down to 160. So I don't think he would stay at 168 to fight another monster at that weight class as far as the way he fights, although Morrell only has, 10 fights? So I don't think that'll happen, but I think the Stanionis is a possibility, because Stanionis will be fighting a guy that's been out of the ring, I believe, was almost about the same amount of time, about a year and a half or so. Dude 6-0, 5 knockouts, 1 draw. That'd be good to see Stanionis back in action, because I want to see Stanionis. I think he's a decent fighter as well.
Yeah, let me make a correction there, because when I thought about it, I said the 18 months, and I saw somebody mention that in the comment section. Actually, it's coming up on a year since Boots last fought. He fought July 2023. I was actually thinking about the Karan fight, which was a little bit earlier in the year, but that still would have just made it about 15 months. That's actually the one I was thinking about. But yeah.
Hey, Jay Miller, the only thing I've seen about Boots as far as like his movement, he says he's still rocking with PBC as what. He's not signed to them, but he still rocks with them pretty much. And he was suing the prior promoter after Cameron Duncan passed away, because his wife supposedly took over and she didn't have any dealings with boxing, so it was concerning for Boots promotions in general trying to move around. They want to be with someone that has established in the boxing. So supposedly they're soon to try to get out of their contract and whatnot. I don't know anything about as far as like the proceedings from that. That's just what I've been reading beforehand, but they haven't said any updates on that regarding Boots and his ability to get out of that deal with Cameron Duncan's promotion company. Yeah, right. But nah, right. Ryan is still with Golden Boy. I don't know. I think Ryan has maybe 1 or 2 fights left. I'm not sure how many fights left, but we'll see. after this fight in April with him. All right. You got any other takes on that yourself, Greg?
No, man. No takes on it, man. I'm just responding to somebody in the chat here on a video that's literally from Terence Crawford. Fans are literally still celebrating a win from almost 9 months ago now. He's on our video the night of the fight talking about Greg kept saying put the high guard up and walk him down. Jay, do you remember Errol Spence putting a high guard up and walking Terence Crawford down in the fight? Do you remember him ever attempting to do that?
Don't think so.
Exactly. So how do you know if it works or not, you dumbass? Okay, let me move on to the next. I get tired of people, man, with just. I'm sorry, guys. I shouldn't have said that. I shouldn't have said that. Well, he called me a jackass, so that's why I called him a dumbass. But I'm tired of people. Sometimes you get tired of people doing that. All right, Jay. Now we can move on to the next topic. No, man, it's just people come in the comment section and think they smarter than what they really are, man. And it's not about being smart, but it's like, good God, man, you're being cocky and your comments don't make sense.
Loud and wrong. I can't. That's the worst. That's the worst type way to be. Loud and wrong. So, but yeah, since you mentioned the EJ and Bud fight, so let's go back and let's talk about EJ a little bit about potentially. He might be still in an option for Canelo in September.
Oh, hell, man. Greg 10 Bud fan 8.
10-8 round.
10-8 round, exactly.
So for EJ, there still be an option for Canelo, potentially, is ridiculous. That's one of the ultimate cherry picks, worse than Jermell Charlo was. After EJ coming off a loss, getting dominated by Bud, having to move up 3 weight classes, it makes absolutely zero sense for him to even be an option. I'm still mad that, for one, Canelo's pushing for Jamal Charlo to be an option for him. He's fighting Jaime Munguia. He's not fighting David Benavidez. So all of that to say EJ shouldn't be an option for Canelo at all. I didn't want to fight whether or not EJ had beaten Bud. Even EJ had beaten Bud. I don't want to see that fight. I didn't want to see it then. I damn sure don't want to see it now. It makes no sense.
Yeah. So my thoughts on this is similar to yours, Jay. When you think about Errol Spence and the fight that he just came off of, I mean, it was a dominant fight. I think Errol needs to get back into the ring with somebody who's a soft touch and not at 168 pounds. Because I think that's going to be detrimental to his career overall. So it makes really no sense. And the fact that, and this was a report that came from Mike Coppinger. So he's been fairly accurate the last few months. So I'm going to say that he got I'm going to say he got his information from reliable sources. But you got Spence coming off of a cataract surgery as well. So that puts him in a compromising position as well. It makes absolutely no sense. And you can see how Canelo Alvarez is currently moving. He's looking to take people on who are coming off of either long layoffs or injuries or a combination of both. And that's just the way the guy's been moving. And people get upset with us when we say, we have an issue with Canelo Alvarez and his opponents. And personally, I don't think Errol Spence should jump the line and fight anybody. Again, it should be David Benavidez. But I will say this. With all that being said, Jay, I would love to see Errol Spence get the fight before Terence Crawford so his fans could cry. I want to see every one of them cry. Yeah, I said it.
Oh, man. Yeah, they would be pissed off. But, again, that would just solidify the fact that Canelo is ducking not just Bud in that sense, but he's ducking David Benavidez. For him to pull that out of his ass to fight Spence coming off a major loss and over a year layoff. So, but you know what's sad? I wouldn't put it past him. Wouldn't put it past him because the way he moves, just the way he moves. I wouldn't put it past Canelo at all to do some shit like that, man. Not at all.
No, I wouldn't put it past him at all, man. Errol Spence. We've never said that, and we were so many people made this comment. We have never said that we believe that Errol Spence should be in the ring with Canelo Alvarez. He should not move up to 168 pounds. I don't believe Terence Crawford should move up to 168 pounds either, because I think it's too much weight for both of those fighters. And people consistently, and I know my boy FSU Walk on call in today. He's going to comment on this, but people consistently take Terence Crawford at 147 and drop him into 168 and truly believe that he's going to have the exact same skill set and abilities that he had at 147 at 168, and it doesn't work like that, because 20 extra added pounds affects how you move. It affects your speed. You are not the same fighter technically. So I don't want to see those gentlemen in the ring. However, I do want to see every single Terence Crawford fan cry. So if Errol Spence does get this fight, I will support it 100%. Just to make sure that every one of his fans cry. And yeah, I'm just that effing petty. So Jay,
yeah, we all know he is. He's petty as hell. We all.
I'm Mr. Petty. I'm one of the best. All you got to do is join the Discord. You'll see how petty I am. Everybody in the Discord know I'm petty. Mr. Petty. That's me. I'm so petty, man. As soon as I saw Ngannou get knocked out, Jay, what was the first name I said as soon as I saw Ngannou got knocked out?
Band Up.
Band Up was the first name out my mouth. We were on the phone. I said, "Oh, time to call Band Up." Mr. Petty.
He just came in. Band Up just told us today, "Don't make me call it again."
Mr. Petty.
Oh shit, Adrian, what's cracking, man? What's up with Band Up?
What's going on, Adrian? All right, Jay.
Shit.
We got anything else on this topic? Yep.
Nah, not on this particular topic, but let's stay on Canelo. Still talks about Canelo. First off, appreciate the $5 one. Watch for the hook. Says EJ let the contract expire, so it would be new negotiating terms for the rematch. It would have to be at 154 the second go around, man down. That could have been a reason. I mean, if he didn't want to stay at 147, he said he couldn't make it.
Yeah, I don't think there's anything that's going to really entice Terence Crawford to take that fight outside of if there's no other further opportunity for him to make a lot of money. Because right now, I don't care what anybody says. I think still Errol Spence is probably the most lucrative fight that he currently has on the table that he could actually get. So I don't think, I don't think that fight is out of the realm of possibilities. However, outside of it being a fair amount of money for Terence Crawford, which I think when you hear Terence Crawford and his team, and we'll probably talk about this a little later, but when you hear Terence Crawford and his team say put up the money, what they mean is put up an absurd amount of money that maybe Terence Crawford can't actually generate. Because there's more than enough people, and there are definitely entities and outlets out there that would be more than willing to put up the money based off what the return will be. Terence Crawford don't want that money, though. Terence Crawford don't want that money. Terence Crawford wants a level of money where there is no return. So, again, pricing himself out. That's just a new way of ducking. I'm not saying Terence Crawford is ducking Gervonta Davis either, but that's just that's a way of continuing that it's a circular reference, right? It's, all you got to do is pay me. Okay, we'll pay you, but we'll pay you what it's worth. But no, I don't really want that amount of money. I want this amount of money. Well, we can't make money off that fight. And you're right back where you at, right? No fight being made.
Yeah, I mean, we talked about what's left for Bud to go to. I mean, there's not many options for him at this time. If he's just talking about money, he have to figure out where he's going to get the money from on some of these fights, because it's not a lot out there. The best fight, as far as from a competitive standpoint, in and around his weight class, if he's going to stay at 147, in my opinion, is Boots. No, I'm not saying Boots is going to beat Bud. I'm saying that's the best fight for him at around 147. You can't tell me there's a better fight for him at 147 than Boots. That's the best thing there. Now, if he moves up, that's cool. 154, I want to see him against Tim Tszyu. Tim Tszyu is fighting Thurman. Supposedly, they're saying that's who he's going to fight. He's going to get the win out of Tim Tszyu and Thurman. That's what, some of his people from his camp have said. Bud hasn't said shit. Bud's been radio silent, just doing his own thing. So that's on that.
So let me address a couple of people in the chat real quick. Gina, no, I would not cry if they schedule Crawford. Well, I guess we got to call it Crawford Spence now. PSTD, nope. I think, listen, Man, a lot of people think like Jason and I were extremely hurt. Jason went to sleep and rested very well that night. I, on the other hand, I was up till earlier in the morning answering questions on the chat and stuff like that because I thought people, number one, I thought people who supported our channel deserved that. That's why we did a live stream that morning and we did another live stream later that afternoon. I thought people who were on the channel who said that Terence Crawford were going to win, I think they deserve having the opportunity to take all their shots. And I gave them free reign to take as many shots as they wanted to. So no PST.
Yeah, we still here.
Yep, no. Oh, as a matter of fact, they said we were going to be done, Jason, once that happened. When Errol Spence lost to Terence Crawford, we were right under 9,000 subscribers. We just crossed 15,000 subscribers this week. So obviously we're still here. Let's see what other people said.
Greg, the thing also is like the fact that Spence was the underdog. He was an underdog in the fight. So if you pick Bud, you had it right to pick him. He was the favorite. He was more active. You know, he had just fought Avanesian. You know, Spence hadn't fought in over a year. So it's all good. You know, I still rock with Spence just because he's a stand-up dude, in my opinion. He said what he was going to do, and he did it. Only thing he didn't do was get the victory against Spence.
Yeah.
That's the only thing. I mean, against Bud. He didn't get the victory against Bud to be undisputed. He stood 10 toes down and still took that fight. A lot of fighters have been like, you know what? I've been sitting out all this long. I ain't going to fight Bud right now. I'm going to fight a tune-up. I'm going to do X, Y, Z. Spence stood 10 toes down, said, I'm going to take care of everything on my side of the street. Got those belts wrapped up. He collected all the belts except for one belt. So all Bud had to do was just fight one fight to get to be undisputed. Spence had to fight 4 times to be undisputed. So that's why I respect Spence on that.
Yeah. So NHA Tube said, how Spence the most lucrative fight if PBC ain't willing to put up the money for the rematch? They're probably not willing to put up the money in terms of what the guarantees were for those fights. But that's still probably the most lucrative fight that he has currently on the table. One that he can actually get. Crawford is a trendsetter on everything a boxing fan wants in an elite boxer. False. Let's see. Watch for the hook. EJ got to talk some shit for the rematch without fearing backlash from fans and Bud buddies. Get off that humble shit, EJ. I agree with you. Watch for the hook. You're absolutely right. He got to talk because if he doesn't talk and if there's no reason to believe that he could be different in a rematch, it's not going to sell and nobody's going to get behind it. And that's just pure facts. I'm sorry. I'm just trying to catch up with some of this. Y'all was hurt. Band Up said we were hurt. Nah, man. We weren't hurt, Band Up. You guys, we not that soft. Let's see.
We've been wrong, we've been right. So I mean, that's what's gonna happen, you know.
King Art is in the building. What's up, King Art? King Art has been around, man. It's been so many people who are Terence Crawford supporters that have been around this channel for so long, and I appreciate them. I really do.
Yeah. And watch for hook. You got a good point. If they were to have this fight, there's a rematch between EJ and Bud, they gotta load the undercard. And if EJ's not gonna come out of the shell and start talking noise, which I kind of want him doing that because that's not him. You know, I still want him to still be himself. But they have to load that undercard. They will have to load that undercard for sure. Shelton Moore, do you guys believe that Errol can be better in the rematch? I think he can. At 154, I think he can be better. Not saying it will change the outcome. I think it'll be a better fight. Because the thing is, some of y'all think that me and Greg said that Bud didn't have a chance in hell to beat EJ. We never said that. We said it's a 50-50 fight, but we lean towards EJ for the reasons that we gave in those past videos. That's what we said. What we did not see is either fighter dominating the other fighter like what happened on July 29th last year by Bud. That's what we didn't see. We didn't see the domination happen like that.
Yeah, you got to figure out something though, Tunnel Vision. You got to figure out some way. You got to talk somehow. You got to bring some level of bravado. You can't come to the and be all passive. Well, he did spank my ass, but hey, I'm gonna train real hard. Nah, man, that ain't gonna sell, dog. That ain't gonna sell, dog. You got to do something. All right, Jay. Do we have anything else on the docket? I'm not even sure.
We got some more on the docket. So,
Manolo, what's going on with you, fam?
So regarding Canelo, So Bomac says Bud beats Canelo just like he beat Spence. He said it'll be EJ versus Bud Part 2. I don't agree with that because Canelo and EJ aren't the same fighter. They're nowhere near the same type style of fighters. Also, this will be moving up 3 weight classes. Lots of differences there. I don't see the same fighter in EJ and Canelo at all. EJ doesn't have the head movement that Canelo does, and Canelo counters a lot more than EJ does, as well as he hits harder. And he hits you on your hip, your forearm, your neck, your shoulder, your spine. He hits you any way he can just to hurt you. You know, EJ doesn't do it like that. So I disagree with Bomac saying it's going to be like that. I don't think it's going to be a dominating performance by Bud. Also, I'm on the mindset a really good small guy is not going to be a really good big guy neither. That's just usually how it happens. The big guy usually wins in that aspect, and it's a 21-pound difference. So, now, what's your thoughts on Bomac and Canelo?
Let me start off by saying I'm tired of NHA Tube because he's absolutely right when he says y'all ain't agree with Bomac either. When he says Spence would be where easy work, I hate him. I hate NHA Tube right now. I just want to say that because he's right. I think we even said that in the video.
Throw a wrench at NHA Tube and block him.
I need to get NHA Tube a free. Hold up, NHA Tube is a member. What are you talking about? He's a member. We need to give him a wrench. Nah, man. So he's right about what we said about, but here's the deal, man. And I get what you said, but the circumstances with that, I hate arguing this point, Jay, because that part right there, that's where somebody like Bomac, and I mentioned something like that in the video, where Bomac can be emboldened by the statements that he's made in the past, and people are going to believe it today because of what happened with Errol Spence. Now, the circumstances, as far as I'm concerned, were different with Spence. Canelo is not the same fighter as Spence. Personally, I think Canelo is a better counterpuncher. I think Canelo has better head movement, but he is flat-footed, similarly to Errol Spence. Now, and I know me and Walt, we gonna fight about this when he called in, man. Walt, I love Walt. Walt's very passionate about the sport. We gonna fight about this because he truly believes in this. He thinks that I hate Terence Crawford. I don't. I don't think you can take a version of Terence Crawford, which is at 147, and make him well, it's 2 things, Jay. Number 1, I don't think you are as good as your best fight, and I don't think you are as bad as your worst fight. And I think a lot of people, it's a what have you done for me lately type sport, and because he was able to do that to Spence, now all of a sudden Terence Crawford can leap buildings in a single bound, right? He can do it any and everything according to his fans. But in reality, when he ends up moving up to 168 pounds, you're talking about 21 pounds of additional weight. 21 pounds of additional weight in the ring with somebody who's already been in the ring at 168, and they're actually acclimated to the weight. Terence Crawford would not be the same version that we saw, the welterweight version, right? He's going to be a bit slower. He's going to have a bit less lateral movement. And for a guy that is not necessarily the most defensively responsible fighter, he is not. Terence Crawford is an offensive fighter. His offense is his defense. And a lot of people just believe that somehow he's going to be able to employ the exact same game plan as Floyd Mayweather, one of the greatest defensive fighters we've ever seen in the sport, who utilized defense in the pocket. He did not use a lot of movement. He utilized defense in the pocket to make Canelo miss and to make him pay. That isn't Terence Crawford. So while I do believe Terence Crawford is a more skilled fighter than Canelo Alvarez, will he actually be able to dominate Canelo? Like dominate. We're not talking about beat now. He said KO and dominate. Those are 2 different things. I struggle to believe that that's possible, and therefore I don't believe in what he has to say in that regard.
Yeah. But also, you know, people have said, so let me ask the chat this. For Bud right now, is Bud fighting for legacy or for a bag? And no, I'm not giving y'all a chance to say both. Which one is it?
Let me put a poll in there. I'm going to put a poll in there. Hold up. I'm going to put a poll in the chat.
They already saying money. Okay. I appreciate y'all saying money. Okay. So if he's fighting for money,
he ain't fighting for no
I
legacy.
don't know if y'all. So if he's fighting for money, y'all all saying most people in here saying the bag. So if he's fighting for the bag, why won't he fight Benavidez? And I say that because they asked Bomac, would you advise Bud to fight Benavidez for any amount of money? Bomac said, no, hell no, fuck no. So why wouldn't he fight Benavidez now?
Hey, shout out to Rock, man. Man, what's going on with you, fam? I ain't seen you in a long time, man. Salute. I know you had a situation a little while ago, man. Man, shout out, man. What's going on with you, fam? And then Big Herm, what's going on with you, bro? And of course, I think my brother from another mother. I think Jason Williams may be my long lost brother. Jason Williams, what's going on with you, fam? Bud is fighting for the bag disguised as legacy. I totally agree with that. Because,
that's fair.
Man, let me ask you guys this. And I want you guys to answer this as well. Do you believe if David Benavidez was undisputed currently at 168 and he could generate just as much money for Terence Crawford as Canelo Alvarez, would he take that fight? Because if that's the case, then you know it's really not about legacy. It's about money. And which guy maximizes the opportunity to make money while minimizing the risk of damage in the ring? Because that's what it's really about.
Not only that, Bomac also said Bud has his eyes set on Canelo because he sees something in Canelo that he can beat.
Mm-hmm.
It's not the challenge; it's about the money. But if it's about the money, and they, now granted, Bud hasn't said anything about this. This is what Bomac said. After the fight, I believe it was again on Wednesday, Pro Box. Bomac was the one that said they were asking him, anybody amount of money, would you advise him to fight Benavidez? He said, hell no, fuck no. So it can't be about the money to me. And to Greg's point, I asked forgot who it was. Was it Band Up? I asked about if Benavidez was undisputed, would he be going for undisputed then? No.
Listen,
hey, Jason Williams, this whole voice saw. Yes, he saw opportunity. He cherry picked that. That was an easy fight right there for him. That was an easier fight. He wasn't gonna fight Lennox Lewis. He wasn't gonna do that. He got a champion. Ruiz had a title, so he's like, Ruiz is closer to my height. I got the range. I'm faster than him. I got a chance to do something in history and move up from. He was at 175 at the time.
Yep.
And move up and get this win. He wasn't gonna fight no damn Lennox Lewis. So if he wanted to fight the best at that weight class, that's who he would have fought.
Yeah, shout out to Big Herm. Good points of view over here. Salute. Appreciate you, Big Herm. And then somebody else, watch for the hood, Bud is fighting for I already said that one. So, man, a lot of people like to try to draw comparisons to Roy Jones going up to fight John Ruiz. And to me, that's a poor comparison. And the reason why is that John Ruiz was a low-level heavyweight that just so happened to have won a heavyweight title, I believe, against an old Evander Holyfield. If I'm not mistaken, Jay, correct me if I'm wrong. And that is the reason why he had the heavyweight title. He was basically a fringe heavyweight that got knocked out a couple of times before he even got the opportunity to fight. That's completely different from jumping up and fighting the best fighter in the division. That would have been what Terence Crawford is doing. Is more so closely resembling if Roy Jones would have jumped up and fought Lennox Lewis. That's a better comp, honestly. So all of that stuff is and Ruiz, he would have just won a piece of a title when he moved up, or he won a piece of the title. He's not going up, and Lennox had every other belt. So that would be the equivalent of going up and fighting Lennox. He didn't do that because he knew Lennox. As a matter of fact, after the fight, he said, "Would you consider Lennox Lewis?" Oh boy, that's a big boy right there. Lennox is a big boy. you know you're not really a heavyweight. You just found a guy that you could get into the ring with and win a piece of a heavyweight title. Just to say that. So yeah, if Terence Crawford was jumping up to just win a piece of the super middleweight title, and he wasn't getting the opportunity to skip the line for the man at the time, I wouldn't care. I wouldn't care.
Yeah, it wouldn't bother me at all. Like I've said multiple times before, and people are talking about, I'm not a Canelo fan by far. Not a Canelo fan. But as far as who gets the next fight for Canelo, that should be getting the next crack. It should be Benavidez, hands down, no question about it to me. But I don't want to see anyone skip the line for it over Benavidez, but Munguia skipping the line, and I definitely don't think someone that's coming from 147 should skip the line at all.
So let's give Jay Miller a shout out, 199. He should go after Zoo. I totally agree with that. And then I'm going to address some other stuff in the chat as well here real quick. But NH2 say $2. RJJ was celebrated for jumping up. Bud hated on. No. We just saying that Bud should jump up and fight David Benavidez. That's it. And then I want to go back to Jason Williams. Greg, you don't believe Canelo is the best at 168. Stop capping. Exactly. I believe David Benavidez is. So why not just go up and fight David Benavidez? Because you said Bud can do everything in that ring. You just said that in the chat. So if he can do everything in that ring, similar to what Bomac said, which was size don't matter. You could just simply outbox him, go out there and fight David Benavidez. But you shouldn't get the opportunity to go straight at undisputed title at 168, 3 weight classes above yours just because of what? Because, I mean, if Bud just had the name cachet, let's replace Bud, and let's say this was Floyd Mayweather doing this in his prime, where he was at the peak of his pay-per-view powers. I would say, yeah, go ahead and let Floyd do that. Want to know why? Because Floyd has the cachet in order to do that in terms of the appeal, right? To make fighters want to see it, to make people want to see it. Coming off of what we just saw here with Canelo Alvarez and Jermell, no one wants to see that, man. So no, he doesn't have the cachet to pull that off. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
They get mad. They get mad at us, man.
No different than Canelo cherry picking. Cherry picking fighting Jermell Charlo, as you just mentioned. Now he's fighting Munguia, who's has 40 fights, and you probably couldn't name more than 3 people he's fought. And he arguably lost to Derevyanchenko. So, I mean, cherry picking happens, man. It happens a lot. Now, to your point, since you brought up Floyd and everything, we're still talking about
But hold up. Before we go there, we got 144 people in the building, 74 likes. If you get the opportunity, please smash the like button so other people can find this content. And if you're new to the channel, this is the Angry Man Podcast, AM Sports Media, where we're always dropping boxing-related content. So make sure you hit the subscribe button if you're a subscriber. Think about becoming a member. It's $2.99 a month. It helps to maintain the channel in terms of the overall operating expenses. So if you consider giving more to the channel, think about becoming a $2.99 member. And then we also have AM Sports Cover 4. That's our new channel where we're covering college football. Make sure you go over there and check out AM Sports Cover 4 as well. We appreciate it. All right, man.
Yeah, so Barney got mad about the whole Floyd saying Bud should fight Boots or Bud should fight Benavidez. He's really pissed off about the Bud should fight Benavidez more than anything else. And Floyd was given the same scenario that we gave. We're like, look, if you can't fight Canelo, he ain't fighting Benavidez, y'all might as well fight each other, and then you become the mandatory and try to put more pressure on Canelo to fight you. That was the only reason. One just saying just for the hell of it. I mean, it makes no sense for me not. Why wouldn't you want to make that fight? So you can try to get in there to be the mandatory for Canelo. That's the only way you're going to try to put some additional pressure on Canelo. But we know Canelo going to move like he moves, and that's how he's been moving for the longest. And he's going to cherry pick who he wants to fight. Hey, Jake, they're not going to strip Canelo. I hope they do. They're supposed to do it this month for that belt, but I don't see that happening at all.
Big Herm say, why can't Benavidez corner Canelo more? Show up to May 4. That may just not be his style. I mean, I get what you're saying, like put more pressure on him for him to actually make the fight. No, I feel you, but Canelo just makes more and more excuses. Oh, you disrespect me. I'm not going to fight you.
You saw you're a terrible fighter. You saw how that worked out for Boo Boo and everyone else that you called him out.
Yeah, that hasn't seemed to work very well. I think in reality, man, he just needs more general. He just needs more general pressure from boxing fans, man. In reality, I think he's getting some of the pressure, to be quite honest with you, when you think about some of the entities like PBC who've had the cojones to stand up to him and tell him that they're not going to pay him this absorbent amount of money just for him to fight a stiff. And then DAZN followed suit and said that they were not going to pay him an absorbent amount of money to fight a stiff. I think they're starting to put pressure on him to say, you're going to have to actually fight somebody and earn these dollars. You're not going to get a free payday where nobody can earn money back. And I think that's part of the issue with the I'm about to go on a rant, Jay. Because I know that there's a lot of people. I know that there's a lot of people probably currently in the chat that are 40 plus, right? And to be quite honest with you, when you think about these new generational athletes that are all about me, this me movement, because their parents made it all about them. When we grew up during our time, it wasn't shit about us, right? Everything was about our parents, our mothers and our fathers, and they didn't center the whole world and their lives around us. But then you got these pampered ass athletes that come up and everything needs to be centered around them. It's about me. It's about me. It's about me. You see it in the NBA. You see it in boxing. And these guys just believe that fights need to be about them. It's about the fighter. They need to get paid this exorbitant amount of money, and they don't understand the framework of the business of boxing, meaning it's all a business, right? People want to see it. There's a supply and a demand, and based off of the supply and demand, that's what people are willing to pay for, and everybody has to be compensated in order to do it, right? So it's not just about the fighter. You got the networks that need to be compensated because they're the one that's putting the product out. You got the promoters who are actually promoting it. So everybody has to be properly compensated for it, and these fighters are trying to figure out ways to fleece, and now the new thing is Saudi Arabia because they think that they can go over there and fleece them as well. I'm tired of these new age pampered ass, we need a break ass, everything is centered around me, low management ass freaking athletes, bruh. It's a damn shame. I'm done with my rant.
How you really feel, my brother?
That's how I really feel. That's how I feel.
Well, yeah, one more thing as far as Bomac. So Bomac came out and says the Eubanks talk with Bud is fake news. Now, on another podcast, Bernie was talking like it was good to go. So, and they're both in the camp. So, someone not talking to somebody on here. Someone ain't talking to somebody. Only thing we know Bud is doing golfing right now and trying to fight, doing golf in, I think, the Florida Invitation or something like that. But who to believe now? Do you believe Bomac or do you believe Bernie?
I don't believe anything that Bomac said in regards to that fight with Eubanks. And it's not that I feel that Bomac is not credible. I just think, and this is with everybody, dog. This is with politicians, this is with athletes, man. This is with general people like you and I, Jay. You put something out there and it doesn't receive the fanfare or feedback that you wished, and then you take it. Oh, that was never going to happen. No one was talking about that. And motherfuckers become Scooby Doo. I cussed. I'm sorry. I said MFers. I should have said MFers. Anyway, no. So, I just feel that was a situation where they knew that there was no real demand for that fight. They received negative feedback in regards to that, and then it was, well, no, that's not going to happen. Listen, at the end of the day, if it was a situation where that wasn't at least discussed, then, or if it was something that just wasn't on the table whatsoever, then why is Bernie talking extensively about it on Mill City? Why? There's no reason to talk extensively about it if you know that that's not even something that's currently on the table. Bomac is on record basically saying that he does not talk to Terence Crawford every day, right? That's the reason why he didn't really know what was going on with the negotiations with Errol Spence at that time, right? For the rematch, he didn't know what was going on because he wasn't talking to Terence Crawford every day. Now, all of a sudden, he talks to Bud every day, and if that was on the table, he would know. Come on, man. It didn't receive the feedback that you guys wanted. People are not really interested in that fight. So you kind of, you pull back off of it, and that's okay, too. You there?
Yeah, I'm here.
Yeah.
Y'all just responding.
Anyway, let me work on opening up these phone lines, man. We got LL Music TV in the building. Bud would look bad against Benavidez / Alvarez at 68. Them boys are standing right in front of you. Anybody coming up 3-weight classes will have trouble. They say he aqua, but man, he does everything, dude. Like,
you do everything. Jump buildings.
Who am I to tell them that they're wrong?
I heard Bud fixing the ozone layer now.
Man, I need some of these Bud fans, man,
Yeah, you know what? Bud would have had another option if Mill had a better showing against Canelo. If he didn't just do what he did, that piss poor performance against Canelo, Bud would have wanted to fight him. And we wouldn't want to see that fight just because of the animosity they have towards one another. But He killed it. I'm not mad at Bud for saying I don't want to fight you no more, man. Look what you did in that fight. You gonna tarnish my brand.
Yeah, I ain't mad at that. I ain't mad at that either, man. All right, man. I opened up the phone lines, Jay. They open. So we got 140 people in the building, 147 now, 88 likes. Please smash the like button, guys, so other people can find the content. Just take the time. The like button is free, and it helps people find the content. Also, if you're new to the channel, this is AM Sports Media, the Angry Man Podcast. We are always dropping boxing-related content, so make sure you become a subscriber. Subscribers, think about becoming members, and also think about giving to the channel. Again, it helps us to continue to bring this content to you guys. All right, like I mentioned before. Go ahead.
He said, would y'all have the same energy as Spence won and was campaigning to the fight Canelo? Dude, we've said this 1,000 times. We would want that fight. We didn't want the fight when it was being mentioned he might be in that 3-fight deal with Canelo from the get-go at a catch weight at 152. And now there's still rumor that Spence might be in the running for a potential fight, be picked by Canelo in September. We don't want Spence fighting Canelo, whether he had beaten Bud, and damn sure not now after he got dominated by Bud. So no.
No, not at all. I have no desire to see that fight whatsoever. So it was always like that.
Why are people still Honeybee? Y'all wanted EJ to fight Canelo? You bullshit. Hey, Brian, man, I think we just need to pin that in the chat as well. We never campaigned for EJ to fight Canelo pre-Bud fight and damn sure not after the Bud fight. It makes zero sense.
We got criticized by Errol Spence fans for actually saying that wasn't a good fight for him. Now all of a sudden we were campaigning for it. You know, people get their content creators mixed up, dog.
Facts.
Oh, it's about to be a war because I know he gonna be pissed with what I said.
Nah. Yo, Greg.
Yeah.
What? Here's the thing that kills me. I'm an Errol Spence fan.
I know.
So, but what I'm saying is, I've watched Canelo Alvarez. He's not that same guy. Don't keep thinking I'm putting Terence with the way Floyd fought him. He's not gonna fight him. You don't have to fight Canelo like that now. Mm-hmm. Canelo's gonna come. Greg, Jason's right. Canelo, if he fights Crawford, it's gonna be a lot of punches to the hips. It's gonna be trying to punches to the shoulders to slow him down. If Terence Crawford can pivot and do, Terence Crawford's footwork's better than Bivol's. Even if he gains a little weight, he's gonna be quicker than Bivol. So all he has to do with that long reach, that's the reason why he wants the Canelo fight. It's like the people who saying he's fighting that for legacy, everybody knows it's a payday fight. Yeah. It's like, if he's legacy, it's true, he would fight Benavidez. So we know it's not a legacy fight. I just look at their skill sets now at Canelo this time of his career is not nowhere near. If it was Canelo like when he fought Lara,
so he's okay.
He would kill Crawford.
So that's the
Canelo
part
right here. I'm telling you, it's a 60-40 fight, man.
That's the part that I've missed in what you said. You believe that Canelo has eroded.
Yeah, you don't think it? Yo, everybody, he couldn't even put out Ryder. You think if Terence Crawford fights Ryder, Terence Crawford washes him. It's he fought the Jamel fight. You can't even count that because Jamel didn't come to fight at all. If Jamel came to fight and put it on the line a little, that would have been a way better fight. He might have gone. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's like that's the thing I'm saying. I'm looking at it like when I watch Canelo, I watch fights just like y'all. I don't miss nothing. You know what I'm saying? And I watch Canelo now. He's gonna come plot and front forward. When he sees he can't hit Crawford up top, he's gonna start throwing hip shots and all that to try to slow him down. If Terence can maneuver, which I think he can, he ain't got to be the defensive dude that Floyd was. Just be enough to get in and get out against him, and he'll win a decision. And that's all it takes. You know what I'm saying? I wanted to talk about today about the Ryan Garcia thing.
Yep.
And nobody's talking about this. Only Fanon I heard talk about it. It's like, did you hear Shakur call Bill and said he will step in the fight at 140?
Yep.
So I want to hear what Devin now, if you look at Ryan right now, nobody want to see that fight the way this man is looking right now.
They responded.
It's like, so if I guarantee Bill won't take that fight.
Yeah, Bill's
And
already
everybody
responded.
talks all that junk about Shakur didn't want this money, but I guarantee he won't take that fight, bro.
Bill already responded and said that that Shakur doesn't bring anything to the table. So he already responded to that.
Come on, bro, that's Bill's calling card. For a dude that he knows that's gonna beat Devin, he's always says he don't bring nothing to the table. What does Devin bring to the table?
Yep.
Devin's not no man. Devin might do that. The Barclay might sell like half the place with Devin fighting, man. That's the craziest thing. People act like Devin's a skilled fighter. I agree. Devin's a bad boy, but he don't sell tickets.
Facts.
It's like, and it's just like back to the Canelo and Crawford thing. The only reason why Canelo and Crawford will sell tickets, Crawford's not a big draw, but the NBA players, the NFL players, they'll all come out to see that because the both of them, they know them dudes are the top like type dudes. As far as Crawford don't have a draw, but his name is gold. People know the boy can fight.
Yeah.
It's like if you, like I said this before on the show many times, you see Devin Haney, they moving the brother's career really nicely, and I can't blame Bill for that. But I've not seen Devin in there with killers. You know what I'm saying? He could have fought instead of Lomachenko, he could have fought Telefimo. I didn't see them trying to make that. And it's like I'm trying to see. I'm not gonna believe Devin Haney till I see him with an athletic dude who can pop. I'm not gonna see it because I watched him get hit by what's that boy's name, Morris, who's not that athletic. You know what I'm saying? So I have to see it first. And then that ish yesterday, people talking about what's his name, Zapata fighting Shakur. He didn't want that fight before. Anybody that watched that fight yesterday and thinks Zapata can deal with Shakur, they're nuts. Because Zapata's just like, what's the boy, Valdez. He might be a little better, but he fights with both hands by his head and just wings punches. Shakur's footwork is just going to see everything coming. And Greg, man, FSU, you even used me on that. You even used me on the little snippet you put up earlier. I know FSU Walt's going to call in and say something about and I'm sitting at home watching it going, I agree with you on the money thing. Of course, this time of Crawford's career, he just, we sit back and watch everybody talk about, Canelo can do whatever he wants to do. Crawford's earned that right. And this is coming from a Spence dude. Crawford's earned the right at this time of his career to get his money. You know he's not going to fight Boots because it's too much of a chance. And I think I have him over Boots in that fight. But it's still too much of a chance. He deserves to go after Canelo for the bag.
I would say he deserves to go after a bag. I don't think he deserves to get a bag.
No.
Canelo Alvarez.
I think Benavidez should get the fight before him. Don't get me wrong, because he's been deserved it for like 3 or 4 years. But if Canelo's not going to fight Benavidez, I guarantee you there's 2 guys he won't fight. And then Benavidez, because I don't think he thinks he can beat him, and Crawford, because that chance of losing to a smaller black man again is just a bad look for him. So if after he fights Trashy McTrash, you know what I'm saying, he's gonna, it's probably gonna be, he's probably gonna try to go back to Jamal. I can't see Canelo taking any more real chances anymore in his career. He's not gonna try to get his get back against Bivol. So I think Canelo's career is gonna go just because he knows he's still gonna get that 200 to 400,000 Mexican fans to watch his fights wherever he fights. You know what I'm saying? But Crawford's in a really bad space because Canelo ain't gonna fight him. So to me, his only option to get people really interested is the Boots fight. I think he'll make some money fighting dude that's fighting Thurman, but he'll wash that dude. So I would like to see him fight like y'all was saying before. To me, if Crawford's going out on his shield saying he that dude, I'd like to see him fight the boy at 160. What's his name again now?
Adames.
Adames.
Yeah, that's the one I would like to see. If Crawford went in there and beat Adames' behind at this time of his career, and beat his behind, then you got to put him up there with the baddest cats because that boy can fight. You know what I'm saying? It's like he will bring things to Crawford that I think that like Devin Haney, that the dude at 140 will bring to Devin. You gonna have to beat that dude.
Yeah, I agree. I agree. No, great
Greg,
takes, boy.
stop doing that to me, man, because I'm like, man, I'm almost ready to like tell you to turn that FSU shirt going at me.
Man, I'm not going at you. I'm giving you a plug, Walt. I'm plugging you. What are you talking about?
No, yo, Jay, here's how we do it. Oh, I know I'm going to hear for shout out to my boy. First, it's like, I know I'm going to hear, but shout out to my boy. He throw that one in. He tipping, he's skirting the fence on that one.
No, well, I'm just keeping it real. You are my guy, and so I know you gonna call in. You probably gonna debate me on it. That's it. I'm giving you a plug.
I'm just messing with you, brother. But man, I appreciate y'all being on, man. Y'all have a good one, man.
All right, appreciate you, fam.
All right, well.
That was FSU Walt in the building. We got 140 people, 94 likes. Make sure you smash the like button because we got the 346 calling in right now. 346, you on with the Angry Man Podcast. What's going on with you, fam?
Greg, Jason, how's it going? 2 Cents Boxing, how y'all doing this afternoon?
Doing well. How are you?
Hey, chilling.
I'm doing good. I just want to call in and drop my 2 cents on some of these topics y'all talking about today.
Yep.
I want to talk about Crawford-Canelo situation, and I wanted to chit-chat about the Ryan Garcia thing. I'm going to start with the Ryan Garcia situation.
Yep.
First, I want to ask y'all, have y'all ever heard of a commission mentally evaluating somebody to see if they are in a position to fight? Is that a thing?
Never heard that before.
No.
Okay. Now, the reason why I'm saying that is because if we all think about this promotion, first, if we think about Ryan's last promotion with the Duarte fight, Oscar De La Hoya did not do a good job of promoting that fight, one.
Mm-hmm.
And two, before Ryan started acting all crazy, the fans and everybody was saying how, oh, the fight's in New York, their fan base is in California, oh, the ticket prices are too high, and we also didn't have an undercard for the fight. So fast forward, Ryan's tripping, he's talking about conspiracies. At the beginning, I was kind of feeling like, oh, Ryan might be having like a manic episode or some kind of psychotic breakdown. Maybe he should pull out the fight. But since then, he has calmed down. And, I mean, he's talking about conspiracies and all this other kind of stuff, and not things people haven't heard of before. But I just kind of feel like maybe his timing and his delivery is off about what he's saying. But if you listen to him, he's like, well, I got all these eyes on me, and I want to bring awareness to it. But I kind of feel like Ryan might be being scapegoated a little bit for bad promotion on Oscar's part. Because from the beginning, Eddie Hearn's been saying, well, I don't have nothing to do with this fight, basically. And I thought that was kind of weird. We still don't have an undercard for this fight, and I think that's kind of weird. And then you had Arnold Barboza speaking at the press conference talking about he's willing to step in if somebody doesn't show up for the fight. And I also thought that was weird. So I started kind of feel like, are they really trying to hustle the fans? Are they using Devin and Ryan's name to sell as many tickets as possible and then bait and switch everybody at the last minute? Because there's no way we should be talking about who's going to be on a Tank and Frank undercard, and we still don't even know about the Ryan undercard, and that fight's like a month away.
Damn, so, that's an interesting take there.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's weird, and it's like, are y'all trying to just sell as many tickets and then announce a subpar undercard and then switch with Barbosa at the end and try to give Devin credit for whatever success the fight has? Like, it's really, really strange what's going on with this promotion for this fight. And now the fact that y'all are saying, oh, the commission is going to mentally evaluate him to see. Like, listen, it's been plenty of fighters, if that's the case, that should have been mentally evaluated before a fight. And the fight that comes to mind is Teofimo Lopez before the Kambosos fight. I feel like he was really tripping before they fight. They should have mentally evaluated him to see if he was fit to fight. But I just kind of want to say that.
And after the fight, too.
And after the fight, too. Even after his last fight, he's talking about Egypt and all this other stuff. So I think that's very weird and strange. And the other point I wanted to talk about was Terence Crawford with the Canelo fight. And I wanted to make a point that when you think about it, Terence Crawford never calls out or talks about who he actually wants to fight. He'll call out people, he'll talk about fighting people, and then he'll fight somebody else. And if you notice, he's been talking about Canelo, and now all of a sudden the Eubanks fight was announced, and everybody's like, where did that come from? Like, what legacy and money is that fight?
Right.
And a lot of the fans and people feel like, oh, well, Terence Crawford deserves a big payday, and that's fine, but it's about what you've earned. Like, this is business. Business is based on numbers. I mean, I got a YouTube channel. I feel like they should pay me $5,000 a month, but my numbers don't show that.
Exactly.
So
yeah, I agree.
They're not gonna pay me that. So I think the whole he deserves a big payday, like, that really needs to stop, because when you think about it, the big payday that he did get, he had to finesse his way into that. He didn't just come to the table and then get the big payday. He had to stall the fight and nana boo-boo with the one belt that he did have and do all this extra stuff just to get that payday. So he didn't even earn that big payday. He finessed his way into that. And as far as him fighting Canelo, I mean, the fight really doesn't make any logical sense. You're going to go up 2 weight classes. You're not going to acclimate to the weight. And you think you're going to fight the undisputed champion and beat the undisputed champion. And I really want people to tell me, what attributes does Terence Crawford really have in order to beat Canelo? Yes, he has great skill. Yes, he can move. But if you watch Crawford, just like the other caller was saying how Canelo has diminished, Crawford doesn't move in the ring like he used to.
Facts. Same thing I've been saying.
Crawford doesn't have enough power to keep Canelo off of him. You've seen how hard Jamil was hitting Canelo. Canelo dropped his hands and kept moving forward. It was nothing that Jamil really could have done in that fight besides try to fight hard and get knocked out, in my opinion. But what does Crawford have to keep Canelo off of him? He couldn't even knock out a broken Spence. He didn't knock Spence out. He didn't get a 10 count with Spence. He doesn't have the power like that. So I just think that it's a fantasy fight, a video game type fight. And if he does get the fight, another point I want to make is what makes people think that that will be a payday for him. When you heard about the talks about Canelo and Benavidez fighting, they were saying they was going to pay Benavidez, what, $5 million or $8 million or something like that. That's not a big payday that Crawford is looking for.
Exactly. And I mentioned something very similar to that before when you start looking at the overall pay-per-view numbers and what they were going to have to pay Canelo Alvarez. Like, the numbers didn't make sense for what Terence Crawford was going to want as well. So somebody's going to take a haircut, and it's going to be Terence Crawford. So I made those same comments in the past.
Yeah, so I just want to come on here and chit-chat with y'all. Big fan of the channel. I watch y'all videos and watch y'all all the time. So it was great talking to y'all.
Same, man. Appreciate it. Thank you for calling.
All right, thank you.
All right, bye. I just subscribed to 2 Cents Boxing. I would advise you guys to go over there and subscribe as well. 2 Cent Boxing. She was just dropping knowledge just then.
Yeah.
214, you on with the Angry Man Podcast. What's going on with you, fam?
Man, you already know. It's inevitable. It's D-Block, D-Town, D-City, D-Ville, Baltimore.
What's going on, fam?
Man, I had a call right after that shit. I called at the right goddamn time.
Okay, what's up?
What the fuck she talking about, man? What the fuck she talking about? Coming on with this shit about, ain't nobody trying to see that Terence Crawford. What's he gonna do? What did he do to Errol Spence Jr.? He can't get a 10 count. Man, shut that soft shit up, man. That bullshit. You saw what he did to that man? He almost murdered that motherfucker. They even made a poster on a weed package. Get the fuck out of here. Motherfucker, look at the way he looked. And now, where the fuck is he at now? And I'm from Dallas. Fuck that DeSoto shit. He ain't from Dallas. Keep that motherfucker. Let that motherfucker go to New York where he from. All y'all Errol Spence ass fans. Y'all know he from DeSoto. Dallas don't represent DeSoto. Out there at the very edge and shit. Fuck that. Take y'all motherfucker. He got his ass beat. And he was in a contract with Canelo Alvarez. And Canelo was going to murder that motherfucker in the ring. Man, can y'all believe that? The audacity to challenge Terence Crawford and to say, he don't belong there. It's a mythological fight. Man, it's mythological fight that we love, man. What you talking about? Man, I don't understand that. Can y'all give me an answer with this shit? Can y'all give me something for it? Please, give me something so I could just maybe rethink what I'm thinking about, man. It's just too much.
You talking about whether or not we want to fight? You talking about whether or not we want to fight with him and Canelo Alvarez?
Yeah, man, all the hate. And you know how many years it was for Terence Crawford to get that fight with Errol Spence Jr.? You know how many times Errol Spence Jr. knew he didn't want that fight? Always dragging along, running in there, dancing with all his motherfuckers. trying to say you ain't got no title, talking about you got to come to my side. Man, fuck that shit. When you a man, you want something, get it. Go to the podium. Make some shit happen. Fucking Errol Spence, that's why Karma came back and whooped his ass. And like I said, I'm from Dallas. We don't do that shit. So what y'all got to say with that, my brothers?
So I think Errol is the reason why the fight was made. To be quite honest with you, if you don't like Errol, Errol was the reason why that fight got made, bro. Terence Crawford did just as much dancing as Errol Spence did. If we want to talk about who was,
I like that. I like what you just said right now. You said Terence Crawford did a lot of dancing.
Yeah, he absolutely
he did a lot of dancing. He was dancing that night when he beat the fuck out of him. You right about that, my brother. You right about that.
Hey, he won the fight. He won the fight.
Yeah, how did you know, after all the shit talking that he was doing, Errol Spence Jr. was doing, all the fucking shit all the people were talking about, all the shaming they were doing Terence Crawford, that he wasn't this, he wasn't that. A light up, like Errol Spence Jr. said, light up the ass. Where was his ass? On the canvas. I love it, man. Take that motherfucker back to New York. D-Block, D-Town, D.C., D-Deal. Baltimore, stand up.
All right, fam. Man, he was aggressive, man. He definitely got some real issues with Errol Spence fans. Let me go ahead and 719. Give me 1 second to address D-Town, Baltimore. No, he was definitely very pro Terence Crawford, which is nothing wrong with that. I think there's definitely a lot of difference of opinion. I actually agree with 2 Cents Boxing on a lot of what she was actually pretty much everything she was saying in regards to Terence Crawford. So, but he's a passionate fan. I can't knock it. But D-Town, Baltimore, stand up. Please hold down on all the profanity next time, my brother. We appreciate your call, though. 719, you in the building with the Angry Man Podcast. What's going on with you, fam?
What up with y'all, man? How y'all doing?
What's going on, fam?
Man, yeah, man, I came right on time, too, man. I disagree with almost anything she said. Like, how did he not earn, be honest, how did he not earn his big payday against Earl? He whooped
No. I think
you. The post.
No. That's not what she's saying. But that's not what she's saying. No, that's not what she's saying. When she says earn it, Terence Crawford has earned everything that he has in the ring. But she also commented on the business aspect of it. Just because you won and you were successful in the ring, that doesn't necessarily translate to
right. Yes or no? Who won the negotiations?
That's not what we're talking. That's not what she's talking about, though. I'm telling you what she's talking about.
Hold up. There's 2 levels to this. There's in the ring and there's the business to get it in the ring.
Okay.
But won in those negotiations. He got
that's not what she's talking about.
People said he was gonna get.
That's not what she's talking about. What she's talking about.
We're talking about everything except boxing, there, right?
No, that's not. She's not talking about whether or not he won in the negotiations. No, she's not talking about that. She's not talking about whether he run in the ring. She's talking about everybody saying he deserves this big payday. The payday has to be based off of the actual income he generates. So people are just saying he deserves something that he may not actually generate. That's what she's saying. She's not talking about who won negotiations or anything else.
All right, just a simple question. How much did their pay-per-view rumored to do? 600,000 to 700,000, right?
They said 650 to 700. Right? Yep.
So you talking 700,000 times what, 8? That sounds like, and what they did, a nice, very nice gate.
They did a decent gate.
Sound like they earned their money out of this. It sound like the split that they got was proportionate to what they earned. I seen Canelo do 600 and some thousand and still get 35 million, and his opponent get 10. So I feel like, well, you know, they said, and the rumors was Canelo got 40 million. So if Canelo got 40 and his opponent got 10, but they only did 600 and some thousand pay-per-views, which was the better investment do you think? So that's all I'm saying. So
Canelo did about 700.
He got his worth. He got his worth, and whatever he negotiated for his next fight, we can judge that then. But
so let me say this.
All it is.
So let me say this. Did he get his worth? He got his worth in combination with Errol Spence. So did Errol Spence make some concessions so that the fight could be made? Absolutely, because theoretically, if you looked at their overall pay-per-views and how it should have been split, Terence probably got a little bit more than what he should have got, and that's all that she's talking about.
Yeah. So a little bit. Nobody said he got the lion's share. He got a little bit more. So
yeah. So he got
one guy's doing 200,000, one guy's averaging about 200,000 and another guy's doing 300,000, there ain't a big difference on who should be getting the most, right? It's like Earl's not doing 500,000-600,000 at this point, right?
Average. So, Errol was averaging around 300, and Terence was averaging
300,
probably
and Earl was about 2.
Terence didn't never even get to 2. And Terrence's highest one was 130.
Go look up the numbers for Porter. What was the numbers for Porter and Crawford?
130.
No, 131. Well, all right, so he averaging 150. They said 170 with Khan, 130 with Porter. So he averaging 150, and Earl averaging 300. It's not neither one of them is averaging 500,000. So putting their numbers together, they exceeded what they've been doing, right?
Yeah,
but it was 150. That's half. So he should get half of what Earl's getting.
Listen, that's all I'm saying though is if we're judging guys based off of the numbers, they exceeded what they should have did based off of what they've done. If we base it off history, they both exceeded what they should have done on that. So the trajectory is still there. So if you fight a Canelo, the numbers are projected. People would say that's a bigger fight than the Charlo or Plant. People would look at that in a different light, coming off of a 700,000 where a Plant never did that ever. Charlo never did it. None of them dudes they did no 650, 700,000. So just say if you put 400, 500,000 with Canelo 600, you're looking at a million type of fight. So,
but hold up. Terence Crawford has to do 700,000 pay-per-view buys as the headliner, not the B side.
Oh, okay. So now if we fight Canelo, he'll do $1 million as the B side. So do it even matter?
Yeah, I mean, I'm just saying when we say 700,000, I would like to see what Terence Crawford does in his next fight. I think that's going to be a telltale sign of what he actually is. I would say he would do probably 350. You know, what I mean, probably around there though. If it's a lackluster opponent and people are looking at him in a little different light, I think he'll do like a 350. But if it's a big name and some guys like I would say him and Spence would have did about 450 or something like that, just based off of Earl Spence the rematch
base that support him and what Bud did. So I would say they would have lost probably about 250,000 off of that deal. You know, I could see something like that. So I'm just as curious. And if y'all don't know, I'm Stonebone Boxing, man. I'm a very close affiliate of Team Crawford. Very good friends with Bernie, Bomac, everybody. You can catch me down fight week telling Errol Spence's best friend that he would get stopped in the 9th round to his face. We both were shopping at the MGM Grand. It's on YouTube. Ellie got the video.
Yeah. I saw that. I know what you're talking about. Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
You know, so and he was like, it's gonna be a one side. I told him everything I told him. I ain't lied yet, man. So I appreciate everything y'all do, man. Everybody called me officially.
Hey,
Crawford,
so
I don't carry no title like that. But
I got a question though. I got a question.
Y'all work for sure.
Hold on, I got a question because a lot of people think this is what's interesting, dog. So a lot of people think Terence, Team Crawford, but they wouldn't. So you know who Chicken is?
Absolutely.
So I've had Chicken on the platform, man. He did an interview with us. I've tried to get Bernie on. Bernie's been in the comment section on several occasions. I've even told him, hey, it won't be combative. It's just about having you on, and we want our people who follow our channel to get the opportunity to hear your perspective. But he still hasn't come on.
I'm gonna text him, man. Tell him, man, make that happen, man.
You need to make it.
Man, listen,
it will be entertaining.
I'm an intellectual. You guys are too intellectual to turn it into some gutter ball interview. It's gonna be. You guys are respectful. Like that's why I'm Ted Crawford. I still watch you guys every day, even though it's very. You know what I mean? Like the Crawford talk is very one sided. You know what I mean? Or one direction. I'll say that. And it's usually in the opposite. You know, you give him his credit for what he do. But I expect and I watch because I would hate to be in a world where only thing I watch is people who sound like me and look like me and agree with me. Then it gives me no type of energy, no type of motivation. And as a person, it makes you stagnant. So you need to watch others' opinions so it helps you get better, you know?
Same. That's 100% why we have the platform and why people get the opportunity to come on here and disagree with it. I don't get offended when people disagree with me. I don't care because I work in an environment where being a team leader, you have to rely on the different perspectives of everybody on your team. That's how you actually succeed.
Absolutely.
So it's very stupid not to listen to the ideas and opinions of other people. Simple.
Absolutely. And I want to tell you, last thing, though, before I do get off, man, if y'all want to ever know something that's serious about Crawford, I want y'all to go. If y'all ever get a couple extra 20, 30 minutes, go watch the Earn Your Leisure interview and just watch and look up some of the things he's doing out here in Omaha. He's going to redoing the gym, expanding that. He got a couple acres for next to the gym. He just bought a new area down in a historic area on 24 historically black owned area. He's redoing that with apartments, complexes, shopping, housing. He's doing all kinds of stuff, man. Great things for the city. And last thing, listen, all this Boots Duck talk, Boots might not even be fighting no time. So everything I'm hearing, he fighting in court. His next battle is gonna be in court. He ain't even gonna make it to the Canelo card unless he agree to let somebody else. Listen, man, Boots, if you're listening, the best thing you can do is let her get her little piece of the pie. Drop this court nonsense unless you can call somebody like Floyd or Al and say, hey, Al, just buy me out. Like, you know what I mean? Bud had Al buy him out, and then they got that deal done later for everything. So you can get out these deals, man, if you people see the value in them, you know. Maybe I don't know who your management people are. Maybe y'all need to sit down and extrapolate what they see your type of bread being. If you're a $100 million fighter, maybe $10 million is not a bad amount to get this woman to get out of there. You know, that might only be $1 million a fight out of future person. So you need to look at this, and all this Bud ducking him. He might be ducking the courtroom soon. So that's the only thing Boots better be focused on. He might even fucking get stripped if he can't fight. That's what the word is. He might not even ever get to defend this fake belt that he got. Bud used to have. You know what I mean? So Bud used that belt just like they did last time. The IBF stripped him when he fought for Undisputed at 140, try to say, oh, you got to fight Sergey Lipinets. You got to agree to fight him in 30 days. So, no, we're moving up to fight Jeff Horst. So if that's what it is, go on and get your paperwork straight, and we ready to go. And Floyd can fund that fight. We don't want no 25, 30 million up front for Boots. We understand the landscape for a fight like that, but we feel we could do good numbers on pay-per-view, but it's still going to take a good front end. And the $10 million was real from BLK Prime. The 25+ million we made off this is real. All that is real money. You can go see that in Google. So Google and whoever you else, Forbes, whoever you want to look at, that's money is being real. So you got to at least come with a nice NIF team up front, and we'll handle Boots and dust off our boots and get back to business. But Ramadan Mubarak, Ramadan Kareem to all my Muslims. I know it's a struggle. My mouth dry. I'm on here with Greg now. You know what I mean? I feel weak, but I just got reinvigorated. Allah has blessed me to go on here with my good brothers. And I used to live in Jacksonville, so I know y'all Florida cat. And I can go any day with y'all, man. Any day. Duval all day.
All right, man. I got a lot of people out there in Duval, man. All right, man. Peace. Later. And that is the reason why the channel exists right there, because you have the opportunity to hear a completely different perspective from Jason and I. And that's what I can appreciate. People think that you can only hear one thing, one way, one how. And I don't believe in that. I believe in different perspectives. Jason believe in different perspectives. And that was entertaining. I appreciate him calling in. All right. It is my lender for life.
Let him cook. Let him cook. Happy Sunday, my friends.
What's going on, Jerry?
Jerry Soriano, your lender for life. And all I can say is when it rains, it pours. You know, it's weird. I was looking back at my relationship with you guys. When I first started out calling, I understood why y'all called you called your channel the Angry Man Sports Media Channel, because, you know, my boy Greg had fire. And Jason was, always somewhat quiet. Now, Greg's got that millionaire smile, like my business is growing, my pockets is getting fatter, but your boy Jason he's now that angry dude.
Jason does a lot of talking when I hang up the phone, and I'm like, why doesn't he talk while I talk? Then I realize he's in the middle of the chat room chatting it up with the mean girls, bashing me, and I ain't got gas to cook with, and I ain't got... Well, buddy, you get your opportunity now, because we all over 40. We're men around here. So I got a couple of questions to ask Jason. All right. So the last 10 years, my friend, my good friend Jason, my fellow black Latino stepbrother, the last 10 years, actually, I joke. But yeah, Jason, you need to laugh it up a little bit, brother. You were so wound up, so tight. When you got up, you were squeaking. I mean, I got off the phone last week. Jason was so wound up, he said, I got to say something. Your boy Greg, that probably knows you 20-plus years, didn't understand a word that came out your mouth. He was so uptight. I was like, yo, Jason, this ain't... Brother, you taking this way too serious. Relax. Chill out. But I do have a question to ask you guys. Over, say, post-Pacquiao, post-Mayweather, who are the two best fighters over the last 10 years? The most accomplished fighters over the last 10 years.
Over the last since Floyd and Pacquiao, I would say Andre Ward and Canelo Alvarez, and probably Jermell Charlo.
That are still fighting.
Oh, Jermell Charlo and Canelo Alvarez.
I'm a quote Crawford. You're smart, but you're not that smart. You knew I was teeing it up, don't you?
Of course.
You knew I was teeing it up. Hey, guys, listen. If we don't say outlandish-ish, we don't have nothing to talk about. So a lot of the things you guys say, I don't take personal. A lot of the things some of the callers call in, like the gentleman that just got off the phone, if we don't disagree, what we got to talk about?
Facts.
I ain't calling to kiss your butt, right? We're calling to hopefully open up each other's minds and share some opinions that are maybe different. If you're not scared, listen, some of these channels that hang up on callers, if you're afraid to hear some opinion that's different than yours, that means you're just pushing some sort of narrative. You're making money off garbage, and you don't want anyone to disturb your groove. That's all that is to me. So my thing is this. Crawford versus Canelo, for you guys that say it's about a bag and not legacy, you're not thinking this thoroughly. You're not thinking this out thoroughly, guys. Sure, Canelo is the face of boxing. Sure, Canelo is a cash cow. I mean, if we don't know this, Jermell Charlo made $20 million. I mean, do we know? Are y'all aware that Jermell Charlo, that ran for 12 rounds, made $20 million?
I'm not sure about his purse, to be honest with you. I never looked it up, but go ahead.
He made $20 million, allegedly. Mm-hmm. Okay, so when we're talking about Crawford fighting Canelo, it's not for money. Because the money has to be made regardless. When Crawford fights, lace those gloves up, and the bell rings, he is going to make money. I understand that the people that hate Crawford are going to hate him until he's out. They're probably going to hate Crawford until they hear that he has passed. Okay? So I can't change your mind. But what I am telling you is that Crawford is the pound-for-pound best fighter in the world. So when I hear you talk about Crawford has no cachet, it's in your head he has no cachet. Because apparently what he did July 29th, 2023 was not enough of a statement. When he stopped Porter, it wasn't enough of a statement. We can go on and on and on. What I tell everybody is that the last 11 fighters that Crawford has faced, they have all had off nights. Something was wrong. I didn't feel like myself. At some point, we have to stop making excuses and understand what we are watching, which is pound for pound, the best fighter in the world. And one of the greatest, not only fighters of all time, welterweights of all time, lightweights of all time. We are initially just watching one of the best athletes of all time. He's competing in the International Golf League in Florida. You've seen him toss 50-yard bombs on the football field. You've seen him wrestle. You've seen him play one-on-one basketball. You've seen him go full court with pro players.
That might be why I'm tired of him. He is good at everything, ain't he?
You're watching a special athlete. Just like when you saw Michael Jordan had to be the best in golf, had to be the best in baseball, had to be the best playing poker. This is the type of athlete that you're watching. So my question to you guys is this. When you see Canelo versus Crawford, it's not about the bag. You're still talking about Canelo, who's undisputed at 168. I guarantee you, if Canelo wasn't at 168, Crawford wouldn't be trying to go up there. Now, you say that if he fights Benavidez, no, it's legacy. How's that legacy? How's that legacy?
I mean, I love 160-pound champion.
Crawford and Benavidez are two of my favorite fighters. But how is Crawford beating Benavidez' legacy?
Because going up and beating the guy that everybody knows is the man at the division is more important than the belts. The belts are the belts, dude. But everybody knows that Benavidez would have all those belts around his waist if Canelo Alvarez got in the ring with him. So that's why it's legacy defining.
Listen. Benavidez, to me, is the best 168-pounder. Benavidez, to me, is the best at 175, and he's about to prove it when he beats the winner of Bivol and Benavidez and just wipes everybody out. Okay? Mm-hmm. So you're not going to get an argument from me. But what y'all are failing to realize is that Canelo is still undisputed. Not only that, but he is still the best fighter of this era.
Yeah, so Terence Crawford doesn't deserve.
Let's not even talk about him being the face of boxing. It's like we're just window washing all of Canelo's accomplishments, and all of a sudden it's just a bag. I mean, those are the things that, okay, I'm not going to get angry about, but let's talk about it because it makes absolutely no sense. Now, for instance, Greg, and you are on the record of saying, yeah, Boots and Crawford make that fight.
Yeah.
Crawford beats him. You know what you're going to say the next morning? You already know.
Yes, Boots was too young. He was inexperienced. That's why he lost.
He was too young. He wasn't ready.
Yeah.
I mean, but you know what? I'm okay with it. Because I think Boots has enough hype within the fans, especially the Spence fans, that I think that bout will do numbers. We talk about Crawford can't sell out a picnic, right? I mean, do you remember the 35-65, 35-65? Because he can't sell out a picnic, but yet the fight does 675, 700,000 pay-per-view buys, and now the PBC operatives are going, we already knew that fight was going to make that. Yeah, PBC already had their numbers. We know what we do, but you're offering them 65-35? So, if you guarantee Crawford $15 million to fight Boots, and I'm thinking that is going to have to be somewhere in there, 15, 18, it's going to have to be somewhere in there, and Boots makes $5 million, that's $23 million first. That fight can do 400, 450. If it doesn't do 400, 450, we are sorry as a boxing community. Because we can talk about 650,000 pay-per-view buys, but when was the last time two African Americans did those numbers? Look at Mayweather and Berto. What did that do? 400?
I thought it did more than that.
So, I'm sorry?
I thought Berto did. I thought it did like 7 or 8.
No, sir. Berto Mayweather, a fight nobody wanted, right? I think it was over some chick, did about 400 pay-per-view buys.
That wasn't reasonable.
You can go down the list. Mayweather knows the green print. When Mayweather fought an African-American, he didn't do numbers. The only time Mayweather did numbers was against Latino was against Pacquiao, McGregor, you know, when you had the racial contrast. But I'm going to leave you guys with this. So correct me if I'm wrong. The mean girls in the chat room. I need to know, was Crawford versus Spence one of the highest grossing African-American versus African-American fights, non-heavyweight fights in the last recent decades? Jason, I will tell you this, my friend. You need to lighten up. You've got, I'm assuming, a great marriage. Your wife's a professional. You probably have got beautiful kids. Remember, this YouTube business is just for pure entertainment.
Facts.
This is Jerry Soriano, your lender for life. Let him look.
Jerry Soriano, my friends. I enjoy when Jerry calls in because, huh?
No, I'm just letting Jerry know. Jerry, it's never personal with me neither. I just like to clown. I'm sarcastic as hell. I just don't say too much. Greg sees me on the side though. He sees how I do.
478, you in with the Angry Man Podcast. What's going on with you, fam?
Oh man, I'm listening to y'all. Y'all cool. Y'all funny. But let's get to the Crawford.
Yep.
Canelo fight.
Yeah.
Number one, Canelo is bringing a whole nother country, a whole nother race of people, and he is the master of that race in boxing right now. Now Crawford, pound for pound, is the best fighter. Well, should he get the money he's asking for? Of course he should get the money he's asking for. And I'm only doing that because I'm being biased to being black, okay? Mm-hmm. Get what I'm saying?
Yep.
Hold on. So, that being said, Spence and Crawford, it'll sell, but it won't sell like it did the first sale. You know what I'm saying? It won't sell like it did. So, is it feasible? Yeah, they're both going to make at least $20 million apiece. Granted, if anything, you feel me?
You talking about on a rematch?
If it goes, huh?
You talking about on a rematch?
Uh-huh.
Nah, I don't think they get 20 apiece on a rematch, man. Because I think those numbers are going to come down probably to around about 350, honestly.
Okay, we're going to do it like. Do you remember the movie Rocky?
Yeah.
Where we'll say Spence would be the black fighter and Terence Crawford would be Rocky. Mm-hmm. Right? Okay, we're gonna go to the third fight where Rocky the second fight where Rocky won. You know, it's a rematch. The money's not in the match. The first fight is in the rematch. Every time. Every time. The money's in the rematch. Whether good or bad. You want to see, was it the watch that we saw? You know what I'm saying? You want to see if he could come back. Mm-hmm. What he should be pulling for in that fight. But Canelo, number one, and mind you, at one point he refused to fight an African American. That's why he would ask for so much, because if he lose so much. Mm-hmm. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
He would lose a lot. Really, he would, and he knows that. He knows that. Like when he fought Mayweather, he was going in to become the man. You see what I'm saying?
Yep, I know
they had him
exactly
to become the man. And then he lost. Now, they say he's chasing Mayweather. He's not chasing Mayweather. He is actually, just because he wouldn't fight black fighters, he's actually where Terence at. But he got a much bigger light because of a different country.
Yeah,
Terence don't have a loss. That makes any sense?
Yeah, I feel what you're saying. I feel where you're coming from.
And Spence, my honest opinion, shouldn't fight again.
At all.
You got to build a fight with him, because you take a chance of being dying. You're talking about an accident, a surgery, a near-death accident. then a near career ending surgery on your eye, and you're talking about going in the ring. Come on,
Yeah.
I'm not saying he's not a great. He wouldn't be held as a great boxer, but sometimes you got to be a great thinker in a game of chess. You can't play checkers. He's playing checkers with his life.
Yep.
But if he fights, if he fights, I'll put my mind on him. But I'll be afraid for that fight. The insurance will pay off.
No, I feel where you're coming from. I feel where you're coming from right there. I'm not too keen on seeing the rematch right now, but we'll see what happens.
But you could build that fight up. You could build that fight up. But you have to put Spence in a couple of good fights where he really has to go in and distort up him.
Yeah,
I'm not talking like a first round knockout. I'm talking about he beat him for 5-6 rounds and then take him out. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, he would need to show.
Okay. Huh?
Yeah, he would need to show and prove for sure.
Yeah, and then you could say maybe he's having an off night. Everybody has an off night. Mayweather says one thing, and that I stand by. Mayweather says, I have bad days in the gym, never under the lights.
Yeah.
That was Errol's bad day in the gym. He said it best. He couldn't box spar during the build up to the fight. If that's the case, you were just there for a payday. You knew you were gonna lose. You know what I'm saying? You took a chance with your life. Boxing is already dangerous. Why put the gun in your mouth yourself? You know what I'm saying? Let somebody else do it.
I feel you, man. Anything else you want to share with the people?
Yeah. Oh, nothing but y'all podcast is crazy. I like it.
I appreciate it, man. Appreciate it, fam. Thank you.
Okay.
All right. Later. Yeah, man. That's what we try to do, man. We try to have a crazy podcast. Let me go ahead. I paused the phone lines here for a second. So if anybody's calling in right now, I just paused it real quick. But I want to give Tunnel Vision some love. Tunnel Vision, $10. Mosley versus Mayweather did over 1 million pay-per-view buys. And then Tunnel also said another $10. Appreciate you, Tunnel. No fight has ever done 2 million plus without a black fighter in the fight. Mayweather Mosley did over 1 million. Tyson versus Roy Jones did over 1 million. You are cooking on a cold plate. I'm assuming he's talking about Jerry Soriano or Linda for life. So, and I want to Jason Williams. This is why I hate Jason Williams right here. Yeah, Spence need a tomato-based diet after that beat down from Bud. That's why I hate Jason Williams right there. That's the exact reason why I hate him. So what was I about to say? Man, there was something on my mind. Oh, I saw Jason Williams say something in the comment section talking about Bernie and I wouldn't get along because of our personality, saying that I'm an agitator. I'm not an agitator. Jason, do I agitate you during the day?
You're an asshole.
Well, that's true, and I'm petty, but I'm not. If so, Bernie to me, Bernie has an explosive type of personality, right? And trust me when I tell you, I can manage that, right? Because for me personally, and this is just for me, it's not personal. Like the comments are not personal. The commentary is not personal. It's literally just about entertainment. And sometimes, man, when you put yourself in a public eye, you're gonna get cooked. Jason, we were talking about that maybe yesterday in our Discord, which is coincidentally pinned to the top. But you make yourself public, you're gonna get cooked sometimes, and you can't be sensitive. And if you're sensitive to stuff because you're getting cooked, then really that's your problem. But yeah, certainly I don't think it'll be an issue at all if Bernie came on, because I would not. I would press the issue. I would ask questions that would be questions that are not softball questions, meaning you would get challenged to some extent, but not to the extent where it's going to be like an argument or anything like that, man, because that's not good for anybody as far as I'm concerned. So,
no, I agree with that take there.
Bernie goes from 0 to 100 real quick, Greg. Yeah, I've seen him go from 0 to 100 real quick, and he can go there all day. I think it'll make for a great interaction, actually. I'm looking forward to him going from a 0 to 100, because regardless, he can go from 0 to 100. I'm going to remain driving at 25 miles per hour, because it's, again, for me, it ain't personal.
Yeah, it's never personal. Jerry, you thought I was being personal to you. It ain't personal. I just know when you call in, no one gets a chance to talk.
Who you talking about now?
When Jerry calls in, he'll ask a question, then he'll keep talking. So
yeah, Jerry does that sometimes. Sometimes he
let you go. Yeah.
Sometimes he can't hear.
So that's why I let you go. I let you go, and then I respond afterwards. And I ain't never personal, Jerry. You're acquired taste. I will say that over time, as Greg can attest to. So you're funny. You're a funny dude.
Yeah. The one thing
today, we never disagreed with any of the stuff that you said. So people tell me you're cooking us when you're saying some of the same stuff that we've already said and mentioned.
Yeah, he made a comment about what was it? The comment that he made about how did they did the PBC operatives? They said 650 and they knew their numbers. Well, why is it that they were offering him 65-35 originally? Dude, Ryan Garcia versus Gervonta Davis changed the math for everything. That's what actually happened, and the reason why they went ahead and gave him the money, because they thought that there was a bigger appetite for the fight based off what had occurred with that fight. So that was the reason why. You're leaving out that caveat, my dear friend Jerry Soriano, my lender for life. All right, Jay. I haven't seen anybody else try to call in, so I guess we might just go ahead and try to wrap this one up, Jay. First and foremost, I want to say thank you to everybody that participated today. Hold on, let me see. Number one, Jay Miller, who gave us several donations today. We appreciate you, man. We got Watch for the Left Hook, or Watch for the Hook, who also gave us several. Big Herm hooked us up today. Appreciate you, Big Herm. NHA Tube, LL Music TV with the $4.99. Modern King Boxing, Tunnel Vision. I'm sorry?
Yeah, Tunnel wants to call in. He's like, oh, hell no, open the lines.
Oh, yeah, I could do that, Tunnel. Line open, Tunnel.
Music, TV.
And Tunnel Vision.
King Boxing, yeah, and Tunnel.
Tunnel, line open, fam. What's up?
Yeah, and 2 Cents Boxing. Appreciate you calling in. We appreciate your words.
2 Cent, you fire for sure.
Yeah, you shook the beehive on him.
Tunnel Vision, you in the building, sir. What's going on, fam?
Hey, what's going on, man? Yo, people need to stop trying to always, I don't know where they get this from, but this disrespect that they always try to bring toward black fighters and what they've done in the game and what they do when it pertains to pay-per-views. That comment, no disrespect, that's a dumbass fucking comment. Oh, when have 2 black fighters done something? You look at all the highest grossing fights pretty much in the history of boxing. Most of them, especially with the heavyweights, has been black fighters fighting other black fighters, whether it be like a Tyson versus a Holyfield, or when the the guy from the UK, all them dudes. You look at all those. Look at any list. You see the highest grossing fights is mostly heavyweights, and they're black fighters fighting other black fighters, not fighting Latinos, not fighting white fighters, nothing. Black fighters fighting black fighters. Historically, the biggest fights that have happened have been black fighters, whether it be like Muhammad Ali versus George Foreman, Muhammad Ali versus George Fraser. That happened like 100 years ago, but we still fucking talk about it to this day. And when it comes to even this time, in this generations, no, the key ingredient is the black fighter. No Latino fighters have fought each other and done 2 million pay-per-views. None of them. No Latino fighters have done that. No white fighters have done that. Those only happened when there was a black fighter that was in the equation. And no, Shane Mosley and Floyd Mayweather did do over 1 million. You had the old Mike Tyson that hasn't fought in 100 freaking years fight a Roy Jones who's been out of his prime as well, and they did 1 million views. They did 1 million pay-per-views. Black fighters do numbers. Okay? Now, obviously, yes, when you put that mix between Latinos and blacks, yeah, those do numbers too. But stop disrespecting black fighters as if, they need other people to do numbers. Black fighters don't need other people to do numbers. They've done numbers fighting against each other. So all that bullshit, y'all need to stop it with that freaking bullshit. Cut that shit out. Okay? So I'm trying to make it seem as if, we need somebody in order to be great. All the top tier fighters right now, the only big Latino fighter that's doing numbers right now is Canelo Alvarez. That's pretty much it. No other ones is doing big numbers. Okay? They're not. You know, the main fighters that we talk about is Canelo. That's it. So pipe down on that shit. As if there's 50, and no disrespect to my Latino brothers and sisters either. It's not that. It's just these particular people who always want to make it seem as if trying to put black fighters on the bottom totem pole or something like that. They're always trying to do that shit. As if we can't sell unless there's somebody else involved, or we can't sell, period. And it's all bullshit. So y'all need to cut that out like that. When there's Latino fighters or there's white fighters that are doing 2 million plus pay-per-views against each other or other people on a regular basis, all right, cool, then say something. Okay, until then, nah, shut that up. Shut that up. When Canelo Alvarez is over on DAZN and he's fighting all those European bums, his gates drop in half. His pay-per-views drop in less than half. Okay, the fight that he just did with Charlo, who was a black fighter, jumping up like whatever it was, 2 weight classes. That was the highest gate he's done in years since I think he fought against Gennady Golovkin. And this is a guy that's jumping up multiple divisions. So cut that shit out and put some respect on these black fighters and what they do in the freaking game and historically what they've done in this game. Okay, stop trying to put them down. They've been pretty much the pillar of this fucking game. When you look at those numbers, even now, you have all these great fights that have happened, right? That are coming up. You have Benavidez. What's his name? Bivol versus Beterbiev that's coming up. You got what's it called? You got Fury versus whatever the hell his name that's coming up. You got all these fights that are coming up. But who are they talking about the whole time? You're pretty much talking about Spence. You're talking about Gervonta Tank Davis. You're talking about all these you're talking about Crawford. You're talking about all these supposedly back fighters that you don't give a fuck about. The boxing game has been bland, and most of the black fighters right now are on PBC, and the boxing game has been bland. Completely bland. You tell me, what have your people's numbers been like compared to when PBC's popping and when all these quote black fighters are fighting?
You know what it is, man.
Back up with that shit, and put respect on these freaking black fighters' names. Put respect on their names and what they've done historically, and even what they're doing now. Okay, and what they're doing freaking now. Put respect on those black fighters' names, and making the stupid ass comments like you're making. I don't mean to disrespect you, but I hate when I hear people say that shit. Stop fucking disrespecting the backbone of this damn freaking game. Stop that shit. And you're black too, just so you know too.
Who said that?
You speak Spanish, you speak Hispanic, whatever it is, but you're fucking black too. So put respect on yourself.
Who you talking about, Jerry?
I'm talking about Jerry.
Gotcha.
Like, stop that shit, yo. Stop that disrespect. And it's not even just to Jerry. It's just you hear this a lot. It's not just Jerry, so it's not even just about him. You hear this a lot when they try to minimize what blacks do in the game, as far as when it comes to numbers, when it comes to pay-per-views, when it comes to gates. They try to minimize it, or they try to give it to somebody else. And even right there, he said, when have 2 black fighters, done these numbers? Okay, yeah, in these last couple of years. Well, Floyd Mayweather did it with Shane Mosley. Roy Jones did it with, Roy Jones did it with, with Mike Tyson. And before that, and stop cutting it. Before that, Mike Tyson and them were doing numbers. Sugar Ray Leonard and all of them were doing numbers. Muhammad Ali and them were doing numbers. Blacks have always done numbers, but they try to act as if we haven't. I'll tell you one thing, you know what I'm saying? They've always done numbers. So it's like, put respect on that and stop acting as if there's this thing going on where Latinos fight each other and they do millions of pay-per-views, or whites fight each other and they do millions of pay-per-views fighting against each other. Because they don't. The only Latino that's doing numbers is Canelo. And when top Latino fighters fought against each other, like you look at Oscar De La Hoya fighting against Trinidad, you look at Oscar De La Hoya fighting against Chavez Sr., you know what I'm saying? When Chavez Jr. fought against Canelo Alvarez, they didn't do no 2 million. They weren't doing those $30 million gates, $40 million gates. They weren't breaking records doing those numbers. They didn't break no records when they fought against each other. You know what I mean? So put respect. When you see that list, you're seeing blacks all over that list. Whether it be blacks fighting each other or it's blacks fighting fighting other people. They're the ones that are doing those freaking numbers. That's it. That's it. Period. So put respect on it. And Latinos have done a lot in this in boxing. I got nothing but respect for all of them. They have. But stop disrespecting the fucking black fighters. Dead that shit. Because the numbers, what you're saying, what you were saying, Jerry, whatever his name is, and what others have said, when you look at the numbers, they speak a completely different story. Completely different story.
That's fair. That's fair. Anything else you want to share with the people, Tunnel?
Nah, yeah, just one other thing, too. That dude from Crawford that called in, I mean, the way he was talking, I think it kind of shows the delusion of his team, maybe, and the way that they think. Just due to the fact that you're talking about trying to say that Crawford was averaging 200,000 pay-per-views. Crawford wasn't averaging 200,000 pay-per-views. The highest pay-per-view he did was against probably Sean Porter or against, which was about, 130,000?
Yep.
His highest gate, I believe, was like 1.6 million against, I think it was Sean Porter. Just in perspective, Devin Haney versus, what's his name, the guy he had just fought? Against Regis Prograis, they did 1.7 million at the gate. So Devin Haney fighting against Regis Prograis did a higher gate than Terence Crawford had ever did in his life, even in his hometown. Just so you can put that into perspective. And when they talk about, he was only offered 35, he was only offered 35% because that was what they believed. That's what he brought to the table. When you look at the numbers and what he generated, that's what he was. That's what he was. That's what he should have gotten, was 35%. And I don't think he got more money because of the Errol Spence, because of the Ryan Garcia versus Tank Davis. He didn't get it because of that. He got his money because Errol Spence said, no, give it to him. That's why he did it. They didn't want to give him that money. Even Leonard Ellerby said, when you're in a position of power and you generated some amount of money, you don't give away money. So he was talking negatively about that. That's what he was talking about. He was talking negatively about that situation. You don't do that. You don't just give away money. You don't give up your leverage. And that's what Errol Spence did. Terence Crawford got the money that he got because Errol Spence, he said he would bend, but he wouldn't break. He broke. He said he broke and said, F it, give him everything that he wants so I can make this, so I can get this particular fight. He went down to a weight he had no business going to. He gave him probably upwards of 50% to do the fight. He let him walk in first. He gave him basically a bilateral rematch clause. He gave him all that. The network agreed to things they've never even agreed to let Canelo Alvarez have, just off the strength in order to give Errol Spence what he wanted. They did all that stuff. That's the reason why he got the money that he got. He didn't get it because, it wasn't, this, negotiating this, that. No. Earl, he found somebody that was stubborn, and then obviously the people that he worked with were like, you know what? We're going to do everything that we can do to give you this fight. But Errol Spence was doing over 300,000 plus pay-per-views. He was doing $4 or $5 million gates. Like, this fight that he did with Terence Crawford, that whole situation, he lost money because there was multiple dates that he could have fought that he didn't fight because he was being stubborn and sitting there saying, I'm not going to fight unless I get that guy. And the amount of money that was generated, that money pretty much, for the most part, generated what he makes, what they make, and he makes in like 2 fights. He pretty much got a check that he would get in 2 fights versus anybody else. That's all he got. Terence Crawford is the one that made an absolute killing. He made, God knows, he might have did, who knows how much that dude made. He was making, 6, 7, 8 fights, if not even more. You know what I'm saying? And clearly he made a substantial amount of money. Big, huge house he's building, big gold chains he never wore before. He came off big time. He's the one that did. Errol Spence did. Earl pretty much recouped some of the money that he lost by not fighting. He could have fought during the summer, then he could have fought in November, Then after that, he got hurt. He couldn't, he wouldn't have been able to fight the upcoming part of the year, the next year. But he could have fought during the summer, and then boom, at the end of the year, he could have fought because if he didn't have any injuries. So he's not only lost money then, he's losing money now because he put himself into that bad situation and he got injured at the way he did. Errol Spence actually lost tens of millions of dollars by doing things the way that he did. That's what he actually did. Terence Crawford made off of that, though. He made off it. Yes, absolutely he did. But he did because of Errol Spence. Because Errol Spence bent over backwards to make that fight. Terence Crawford was doing everything he could to not make the fight. But it got to the point where it was like, holy shit, like, at this point, it's like, you don't take this fight, you're looking crazy. And he did it. So when people say, oh, Errol Spence was doing this, he didn't want to do, no, he actually did. You can't do any more than what that man did. No one else in boxing is doing that. Name your favorite fighter. They're not doing what Errol Spence did. Devin Haney isn't doing it. Canelo isn't doing it. Terence Crawford isn't doing it. No way in hell is Terence Crawford doing what Errol Spence did to make that fight. It's not happening. He'd be like, you're stupid for doing something like that. It's not happening. So, also put respect on Errol Spence's name because he truly did do everything he could to make that fight happen. And as far as Terence Crawford's concerned, this whole, he deserves to make his money. That dude has been making money his whole career. He's put money in front of hard fights his whole career. Because you do one big fight, you do one fight that people wanted you to see, doesn't mean all of a sudden now you can do whatever you want. The people you say can do whatever you want is when somebody like a Floyd Mayweather, when you're talking about fighter after fighter after fighter after fighter after fighter after fighter, somebody like that, Lennox Lewis, who had beat person after fighter after fighter after fighter after fighter, then it got to go to the end of his career. If you wanted to have done, whatever fights at the end of his career, you couldn't say anything to him because he had Tyson, because he had Klitschko, because he had whatever his name is from Atlanta. I forget. My brain is gone. He had Holyfield. He had all these names. When you can pop out names left and right like that, you can say that. Manny Pacquiao, you can pop out names left and right. Marquez, you can pop out names left and right. Marquez can do whatever the F you want if you continue fighting because his win or lose, you can look at that resume and say, damn, he did a lot. Freaking Oscar De La Hoya, he could do whatever he wants at the end of his career because you look at that resume, it's fighter, Hopkins, freaking Trinidad, Manny Pacquiao, Floyd Mayweather, like it's name after name after name after name after name. When you have a resume like that, then you can say, you know what, this is the end of my career, I'm going to do whatever I want. That's when you can go fight a Birdo. That's when you can then retire and then fight an MMA fighter and make money off of that. When you got a resume like those guys have, then you can do that. Terence Crawford doesn't have a resume like that. He got some belts, yeah. But the only real fight people are going to remember of that in that man's career is a fight against what's it called? Against Errol Spence. That's about it. No one's remembering the rest of his career. If he didn't fight Errol Spence, I'm telling you, a couple of years from now, people would have forgot about Terence Crawford. That fight basically made his career. He doesn't do that fight, no one's talking about him at all. You know what I'm saying? But, again, so put respect on Errol Spence's name for what he did because he didn't need to do what he did. And you see the blueprint now of the PBC. You haggle too much, go do you. Crawford, you know what? You're trying to haggle too much for this fight? Go do whatever you're going to do. Canelo, you're trying to haggle too much? What did they say? Go do what you're going to do. You know what I'm saying? Ryan Garcia, you're negotiating with somebody else besides, our dude that you're supposed to be fighting? All right, you know what I mean? We can set you up a fight over here with Isaac Cruz instead. Rolly, don't worry about him. They're not dealing with bullshit anymore. And that's why they say when it comes to Crawford, it's going to be very difficult for him to get these fights that he wants. But y'all got to have a good night. And again, put respect on those black fighters' fucking careers and names and history. Put respect on that shit.
Oh man, that was tunnel vision. Hold on, let me pause the phone line here real quick. Tunnel vision. Let him cook. So Jerry actually tried to call back in, and I don't know if I don't know if you guys ready to hear from Jerry. I guess Jerry want to address some of the things that Tono said, but 1 second on that. No, I mean, I honestly didn't even catch the comment of African American fighters, and well, actually, I did hear the comment. Since when have two black fighters generated? I think Jerry was trying to use that in the sense of Terence Crawford. Look at what he was able to do coming together with another African American fighter, and it hasn't happened in a while. I know that Tyson did it, but it hasn't happened in a while. I think that's the way that he was trying to present it, trying to basically give Terence Crawford kudos and not necessarily trying to disrespect African American fighters. That's the way I saw it. Jay, you saw it differently, or?
No, I didn't see it much any different than that, honestly.
Yeah,
more about that.
Yeah, but we gotta let folks cook. We let Jerry cook, and so we had to let Tono cook too. Yeah, hey, I see people. Some people. It's so interesting because you got some people that are totally on Jerry's side. You got other people that are totally on Tunnel Vision side. So to see that dichotomy that exists in the chat is always very, very, very interesting. So, Jay, man, we already at the 2 hour and 20-minute mark, man. So we've been going for a little bit, guys. If you get the opportunity, please smash the like button. If you haven't already smashed the like button, Jerry is, but isn't racist. No, Jerry isn't racist. Did somebody say Jerry racist?
I didn't see it. I didn't see no one say it's racist.
No, Jerry looked like us, to be actually. If you guys saw a picture of Jerry looks like us, guys. Or maybe not everybody in the chat, but he definitely looks African American.
Yeah.
Do we have 15 minutes for another Jerry call? I ain't got 15 minutes for another Jerry call.
I don't either. Rahman says it's a joke. It's a jokey joke.
Oh, okay. Gotcha. So, man, y'all just make sure y'all smash the like button on the way out. We got the Discord that's pinned to the top of the chat if you want to join us. We got a lot of people now. I think probably maybe like 15 people in the Discord now. So we just chop it up, man. We talk boxing all during the week. It's fun. It's lighthearted. It's people agreeing. It's people disagreeing, but it's never rude or anything of that nature, man. It's just it's a lighthearted time there. And then AM Sports Cover 4, that's our new college football channel. Make sure you go and check that out and go subscribe to that channel. We're having a good time just covering college football, our second passion as well. And
help us get to 1,000.
Yeah, help us get to 1,000, man. We need to get to that 1,000 ASAP so that we can start monetizing that channel as well. So thank everybody that joined. Shout out to everybody that gave to the channel. Until next time, peace.
Peace.